Well, ladies and gentlemen, the universe has once again linked us together. All of my panda bear lovers are in the building. I have to give a huge shout out to our channel members, the newest member of which just joined a few minutes ago. I've been promising vlogs, and I'm going to still promise them until the day I drop them. So forgive me. My time is spread pretty thin on this channel, but I am really happy with the growth that we've been experiencing. I'm sorry to everybody that's upset that I keep using Kevin Scamuel's name. I have to at this point because we're catching a lot of new members like Charze. We're catching a lot of new viewers who are tuning in from his name. They're seeing, and I've gotten emails, multiple emails actually today from ladies who are thanking our community for being what it is and who it is and what we represent. So, to all the emails that were sent to me today, I have read them. I'll respond adequately to all of them after the live stream. It takes a while because some of these emails are long. And I had to prep for the show today. I wasn't going to go live today, but the reason I'm going live specifically is to thank all of the contributing members and the people who I have a responsibility to. This microphone, this Rode mic, was bought by Tony, one of our channel members, and it is a very nice microphone. Very nice microphone. Um, it's beautiful, Tony. I can't even use it right now because I actually don't have the audio interface necessary to give it the proper amount of voltage, and so I felt kind of bad about that. So I don't have it hooked up right now, Tony, but I'm gonna have it hooked up really soon. I just have to get a new interface or an interface that's actually strong enough to be able to power that microphone. But I plugged it in. The problem with the interface I have now is it's not quite at the level I need it to be, but it's an incredible mic, Tony. I plugged it in and I got to hear it on its lower levels, and it sounds ridiculous. It's incredible. It's such a beautiful mic. So uh, I can't thank Tony enough for that. We have 60 people watching right now. I'm doing a sound check. All right, sounds good. Be on the lookout for that microphone being hooked up soon. You're going to really enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen. I want to address a couple of things before we actually get started today. It might not be the longest live stream today, but it's going to be a very content-packed, full one again. Waiting for a couple more people to get in here. Hello, Latoya. Hello, Sherelle. Hi, KLIC. Good to see you in here. She says, hello, everybody. This is going to be a great stream, ladies and gentlemen. Great stream. Also, something we're going to be doing later on in the broadcast is the comment of the day. We'll explain what that is later, the comment of the day. We're going to be talking about the glitch, Kevin Scamuels, and the man that was in his bed, allegedly, right? I don't want to slander Kevin Scamuels' name. Also, the thumbnails, I'm going to have to change them a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't want to have any issues with this channel going and getting taken down. So let's talk about this first and foremost, this entire Kevin Scamuels situation. Get comfortable. We're going to be in for a little bit of a ride tonight, not as long as we usually do, but it's going to be an entertaining one nonetheless. Once again, thank you so much to Tony Morrison for supporting my Amazon wishlist buy. So excited to have this microphone. Can't wait until I get the rest of the equipment needed to appropriately use and utilize this new microphone. So Kevin Scamuels is the talk of the net right now, as he usually is, right? But this time it's a bit of a different reason, right? We all know what that reason is. Now, I want to preface this message with a message. I do not advocate nor support for the mistreatment or prejudice of anyone because of their sensual orientation. We are all human beings in the most basic terms, and at the most basic level, we all deserve respect as human beings. Nobody is better than anybody else, even though the Black Manosphere men seem to think that they are. All right. Now, this time Kevin Scamuels is in a loop for known reasons. On a recent live stream of his, there was a point when a camera showed another man lying in a room that seemed similar to Kevin's. And I mean, the walls were kind of the same color. The lighting was kind of the same color. Now, me purposely, do I think that he purposely, or maybe it was an accident and that the man was actually in his room or whatnot? I don't think so. I don't think that that's the case. I don't know, to be honest with you. Either way, that's not what I have necessarily a problem with, and I'll explain what I mean in regards to that here in a little bit. I don't really have a problem with that, even if there was a guy in his room, right? Listen, well, I'm getting ahead of myself, but wait a second. All right. Now, is Kevin more of a feminine man? Absolutely. Would it surprise me if Kevin Scamuels came out as gay? Absolutely not. All right. Like I said, I don't judge, though. This isn't hate speech, Susan, at YouTube. Amidst the most recent revelation of high school pictures and various other pieces of questionable evidence coming from Kevin Scamuels' actual orientation, I would not be surprised if he came out as gay. And the bigger thing is that men in the manosphere are starting to actually say the same sentiment. Well, hey, he's gay, but it really doesn't matter because, well, it's okay if he's gay because, right? We're starting to see that sentiment as well. All right. I've seen that on live streams. Well, who cares if he's gay? Because what he's saying is the truth. Yeah, I get it. If he was gay, though, and the fact that he is more feminine, he is happening to be leading one of the largest masculine charges of hatred and visceral animosity towards women in the history of mankind, then I think that that's a pretty big cognitive dissonant, type situation right there. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. But I want to talk about what Kevin actually said to a woman during this questionable live stream. Okay, and this is what I have the problem with. Also, this hoodie is extremely tight. I bought it from Amazon. It's extremely tight. It's extremely comfy as well. Amazon, if you're buying clothes, most of the time you have to go up a size. I did not know that, so my hoodie is tight. Forgive me. You're gonna call me gay as well. Of course, it's a problem when I'm gay, right? If I was gay, I'm not gay, but it's a problem. They call me gay. Yo, you're feminine. Truth. Oh, you talk kind of you might be gay too. Of course, it's a problem when I'm gay, but if Kevin's gay, it's not a problem. So hey, I'm not gay. But I want to talk about what Kevin actually said to the woman during this questionable live stream. Now, I can't play you the video clip because I have a decent amount of money in my AdSense account, so I want to keep it that way and actually be able to get to it this month. But what he said verbatim, I'm going to tell you right now. This is what he said to a woman during that scandalous clip. He said, "What do you think black women can do to fix the community?" Let me repeat this one more time. This is what Kevin Scamios told a woman. He asked the woman who he was talking to before this man showed up in his bed, "What do you think black women can do to fix the community?" This is what a grown man asked a black woman on that live stream. If you don't believe what I'm saying, pause it right here. Type in Kevin Scamios "man in bed." Listen to the clip. I think Jessica X played it. It might be around the 2 or the 3, possibly the 5-minute mark where you can hear him say this verbatim. What can you as a black woman do to fix the community? This is very, very, very telling. Now, for obvious reasons, I can't play this in the stream once again. I advise you to listen to yourself, pause me, go check it out. I'm not lying. To me, the more mystifying aspect of this video was the fact that Kevin literally admitted to all of us that he's holding women responsible for building the community up from the ashes that black men have burned it down to. We're going to dig deep tonight because I say this all the time, but the deeper I dig into this illogical playground of hateful rhetoric, it's wild to me. Okay, this is from Kevin's mouth himself. What can you do to fix the black community, black woman? She paused for a second and she gave an answer that was neither here nor there. Right? Understandable. The problem is that Kevin Scamios, once again, is placing the responsibility of the black community on black women's shoulders. So let me get this straight. Kevin wants to know how women can fix the community, but also in the same breath insults them while they try to go to school for higher education, i.e., I have a PhD, to get jobs in schools and healthcare to increase the numbers that are lacking in the black community. Let me say this again. So he asked the woman, "How can you fix the black community?" The man that asked the woman how you can fix the black community also insults women for out educating men, also insults women for building more businesses than the black men. They don't want the help. They don't want the true answers to building the black community, because when Kevin Scamios did that, his channel didn't do anything. He didn't make any money. We've talked about that before. Let's move on. It's going to be a good one here. Once again, thank you so much to Tony Morrison for the Rode Pod mic. It's beautiful. Can't wait to use it. Kind of sad right now, but it's all right. We'll have it up soon. 121 people watching. So good to have you all in here. It's been a rough day, but the show must go on. Once again, new levels of cognitive dissonance. Black men are looking for women to fix their failures. The Godfather, the Fraud Father, the Scamiel said it himself. But you can't fix their communities by out-educating them, black women. No, that would make you masculine. Even though they're literally asking you to be the masculine role in the community right now. What can you do to fix the community? If you don't believe Kevin said that, then I'll need you to watch all the scandalous men in the bed videos that are floating around with him. And he says it in just about all these videos right now. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. And black men have no problem with him. Black men have no problem with this. Why? Because most black men aren't leaders. They never had a masculine presence to actually teach them how to lead, and they lack the accountability even if they did have a masculine presence. Now, Kevin understands this. He understands his audience. Kevin knows this. This is why he has shifted his tone to holding women in the community responsible for the damage repair and for the damage that has been done by the failed leaders. And this makes sense, right? Because Kevin Samuels never took off when he actually tried to hold men accountable. This makes sense. This leads me to my next point, which is the unification of black men in concordance with the destruction of black community. This is deep. I want to get deep here right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is deep. A $5 super chat from, I assume to be Tony Morrison. Hold on. I'm missing a lot of the comments right now, y'all. I'm sorry. Tony Morrison says, we're not judging his sexuality. We're judging his hypocrisy. He views black women as his competition, which explains his rampant denigration of black women's image. Absolutely. Absolutely. 1000% completely agree. 1000% completely agree. It's more the hypocrisy that black men have violated, have made gay men in the black community, have ostracized gay men in the black community to the point to where gay men have become black women's best allies. The Chocolate Angel YouTube channel, aka Uppity Unicorn, you can make sure that you find her links after we post this live stream in the comment section below, made a video specifically talking about this, how black women were the ones that fought for feminine and gay men to be included in the community that black men ostracized and ousted them from. When you hear about most of these trans people getting killed, 99.9% of the time it's by black men. It's by black men who are so flustered for whatever reason that they feel like there's no other way for them to get over the situation that they've been duped from, quote unquote, other than killing them, right? So black men have never had the space in their heart for gay people, by and large, right? They're hyper transphobic. They're hyper anti-gay, right? It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Read some comments really quickly. Read a couple comments. Hello, everyone that's just joining. Redline says, man in the bed. Listen, like I said, hey, he's feminine. The dude's feminine. Nothing wrong with it. I get it. I get it. But you can't have a man as your masculine leader that is questionable in his masculinity. That just doesn't make much sense to me, right? But this is why Kevin talks to women. He doesn't talk to men, right? Let's continue on really quickly. Let's continue on. We'll with the panel here in a little bit. Not too long of a live stream today, but I just wanted to kind of give a huge shout out for this new microphone. I really wanted to have it tonight, but it's okay. But first, a message from our sponsor, uniqueboutiquecandles.com. Make sure that you check out uniqueboutiquecandles.com. The link is in the live chat right now. The only chocolate angel is in the building. She is in the clouds. Make sure that you check out the only chocolate angel on YouTube. She's the one who we were just speaking about, of the black women taking in the black men who were gay, who were ostracized from the black community by black men. Now those same black men are going against the black women, except for some of them, right? I'm not going to do the poor man's podcast. I proposed it as a different type of business opportunity, and we decided not to go that way, so we're not going to do that. We're going to keep doing the channel here, the live stream here on my channel. If he wants to hop on, he can hop on, but, you know. Let's continue on really quickly. Let's continue on. A lot of comments, and I can't read all the comments, y'all. But this next part of the live stream, this is going to be called the comment of the day. A new idea where every live stream, I'm going to be reviewing the most asinine comments made by one of the destroyers of the black community. All right. So the comment of the day today, this is going to be a fun one. The comment of the day today was brought to us by Black Rain TV. Black Rain TV said this. Let me share it with you all. All right. This is Mr. Black Rain TV here. Black Rain TV says, if a woman chooses a bum, is it the bum's fault for being a bum or the woman's fault for choosing a bum? He thinks he's very big-brained with this question. He thought about this for a while. Obviously, we've gotten this question a million times, but this is the nature of the pedosphere. They recycle the same illogical garbage amongst themselves until they convince themselves that they're all Socrates in their thought. If a woman chooses a bum, is it the bum's fault for being a bum or the woman's fault for choosing the bum? Dusty logic. Dusty logic. I like that comment. Now let's answer this really quickly. Here's what I have to say to you, Black Rain TV. The problem with a lot of these pedospheric followers is that they lack situational nuance as well as empathy, right? They're evil at heart. Essentially, they have no empathy. But let's take a more in-depth look at the true nature behind a question like this. Example, bum number one promises to his woman that he'll get a job. He gets a job, never aspires for anything better, and is comfortable making ends meet. Bum number two promises his woman he will get a job. He gets the job, but he loses it soon after, therefore going back to his bum status. Bum number three promises his woman he will get a job and never gets a job. And then bum number four makes a promise to get a job. Never makes a promise to get a job, and then he never gets a job. So at least bum number four is being honest, right? Thank you, Organic Black. Now, in most of these cases, the woman is doing exactly what one of our last live stream viewers, which was a 20-year-old college athlete, said that they wanted to do, right? That they want their women to build with them. This college kid in the last live stream said he had a hard time accepting the fact that women want to meet him at the finish line. He had a hard time accepting the fact that women want a man that already has their life together. He doesn't understand why, and shout out to you, young man. He reached out to me on other social media platforms, and we're going to keep in touch. He doesn't understand why women want guys who are already on their purpose and doing well in life, even though that is the natural order of things, even though that is what you would want as a man for your girl or for your children. But rather, a lot of these guys want this 50-50 dynamic in relationship while still expecting full outright submission and indentured servitude. We've talked about that before. And this is where this question kind of comes in right here, right? Now, if during construction of a king's palace, a baby is born, or some other aspect of life and its random emergencies happen, the woman is going to be at blame for not choosing a higher earning man, for not waiting, for choosing a bum. The woman is then blamed for said bum. Just as Kevin Samuels blames every woman who has a child with a man who wasn't on his purpose, who was a bum that tried to actually build with this man. The very thing that they argue for, if for whatever reason the man ends up turning out like the large majority statistical evidence shows us that black men will end up turning out in social capitalistic America, then she's reprimanded for doing exactly what they wanted her to do in the first place, which was to find somebody who was economically disenfranchised with to build with. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You can't, there will always be content about on this situation because this is the illogical thinking that they have. Well, I want a woman to build with me. We should build on something together and then do this and do that. So you want to play house with them, right? You want her to help you build the palace. You want her to help have your back, your emotional fortitude. You need her to be able to provide reassurance to you and this and that while she's cooking and cleaning and trying to have your children at the same time and waiting to be married and then going to school at the same time because you want your women to try and fix the black community, like Kevin Samuels said earlier, and then doing this and then doing that. But while you continue to fail by and large, 40% felony convicted black men, while you continue to fail by and large, out entrepreneured by your counterparts, your peer group, the other side of you, the best side of you, black women, while you continue to be out educated by black women, you also want them to dip down their standards and not truly be better for themselves, but go for the bums that if things don't work out with, you're going to reprimand them for going for in the first place. Oh, right. Moderators in the comment section, feel free. You have my full blessings. Ban any of the Kevin Samuels trolls who have nothing constructive other to say than Kevin Samuels is the truth. Yeah. I'm sure MKM Kevin Samuels is the truth. I'm sure he is. If you'd like to hop on, you're welcome to join and argue to me in a logical, sensical way how Kevin Samuels is the truth. You tell me that. You tell me that. You have my full blessing, mods, and thank you to the mods. They want you to build with them, but then will reprimand you if you try and build with one of them and then it doesn't work. Let's move on. Now, just because you make $40,000 a year doesn't make you a bum, all right? I'm not saying that. But a man's job is always to reach for the next level. It benefits you and your family. I've literally heard Kevin Samuels tell women why, I'm sorry, I don't even know what I typed here. Oh, tell women why they have a problem with their men being average, right? So there's a woman that called into Kevin Samuels' show one time, and she was like, "Well, I just want my guy to do better. I just want him to start, improving and doing this." And he asked her literally, "Well, why do you want him to do better? Why can he not be comfortable where he's at?" This is a bum mentality. No man should ever be comfortable where he's at, because I'm always trying to figure out the next corner, what life's next question, what life's next surprise is. When you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And it's a man's job to ensure that the woman that he loves, the family that he loves, the woman that he wants to take care of, the family that he wants to take care of, can be as well adequately planned for the future as possible. You're supposed to be the provisioner, the protector, and the provider. And so in order to do that accurately, you need to make sure that you plan appropriately for unforeseen situations. That's what men do. And trying to better yourself, trying to gain more education, trying to gain more financial fiscal security is one of those ways to prevail or to provide a little bit better of a situation for your family, right? This is what men do. Stagnation is the worst for a man. Not only does it hinder your own life and progress, but my God, you get one life and you're okay with just making $35,000, $40,000 a year. You live one time on this planet. You were lucky enough to be born. The odds of being born are so vast, they say, that you'd have a greater chance of being struck by lightning 1,000 times than you would to be born again. The odds of being born are literally you winning the lottery 10,000 times in a row. It's so rare that you're even existing right now. And these men would argue that it's okay to live and just kind of get by in the richest country in the world. It's okay to just be average if you're happy with that and get by in the richest country in the world, the land of the most opportunity, the land of the most security, the land of the most wealth and healthcare in the world. They're okay with just scaving by at $35,000 to $40,000 a year. And if you're not okay with that as a woman, then the problem's with you. Incredible. I got to give you a huge shout out to all the contributors and everybody that's been donating on the Cash App and everything also below. If you'd like to donate to the Cash App, the links are there below. You guys donate a lot. You do not have to donate. If you want to donate, then go ahead. But you are not required to donate. Y'all have been so generous to me. This has been a great month for me. And I really do appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. The woman who doesn't exist to you says, I'm not okay with that salary. I don't think anybody should be okay with that salary, but I'm glad to hear that you aren't. I'm glad to hear that you'll be doing better for yourself. Because make no mistake, they're not going to do better for you by and large. Not all. Some of them will. And shout out to the good black men who are trying to actually progress the economic status of black community, who are trying to build more businesses, who are trying to actually link up with other brothers and sisters to provide more economic sustainability for impoverished black America. Shout out to you. You have my respect. Hello Hey says, damned if we want better and damned if we want to build a man into his purpose. And once he leaves, we are blamed for not choosing better. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Read a couple more comments. Tony Morrison says, we're an easy target because we have no protection. I'm sick of everyone being everyone's damn scapegoat. Absolutely. She says, I'm sick of it. Absolutely. Ashley Knox says this gender argument is dumb. 2 to 3 million black men would completely disagree with you, Ashley Knox. I.e., almost 1 million on Kevin Samuels' channel and an estimated 1 to 2 million on the other black Manosphere, paidospheric content creators. Gabrielle says Kevin Samuels is really selling out the community for a check, right? And that's why we made the video on him. The new face of white supremacy is Kevin Samuels. But this is no surprise because black men have been selling out their own since the days of slavery. That's how we became slaves in the first place. That's why we're in America in the first place, is because our own, and this is given and told to us from a live stream chat member who hopped on a panel that we had a few weeks ago, saying that the country that she was from, I believe Uganda, was notorious for selling other Ugandans to the white settlers as they took them to the new continent, which we are on now. And she apologized for it. It's always been black men who have been the worst to black men. You see, black men could have fought off the settlers. Black men could have fought off the white man back in the time when it actually mattered. But now they somehow want to have some kind of problem with it. But they don't really have a problem with it. You know what they have a problem with? They have a problem with me. Let's read. And I want to show you a picture really quickly, ladies and gentlemen. I want to show you a picture. All right. This picture is very telling, and it's going to follow up on the comment of the day. Right. I want you to look at this picture. We'll open up the panel soon. Last time it was like an hour I was speaking before I opened up the panel. I'm not going to do it this time. I'm going to open the panel a lot sooner. Oh, shout out to Kier for the $20 super chat. Kier says, shout out to the real black men and black women making moves and turning the tide in the black community, aka THT. Thank you so much, Kier, etc. Absolutely. Shout out to the real. Let's take a look at this picture really quickly. I'm not going to say anything for about 10 seconds. I want you to try and get anything you can from it, and then I'll explain why I'm talking about this picture. Now, this is a picture of black men in jail all sharing a meal together. Okay. Now, presumably, these are black men who might have had similar adversaries on the street. These are black men who might have had common enemies on the street. These are black men who might not have liked each other as much on the street. But you see, when they get to the inside, when they're forced to be held accountable for the injustices that they might have caused to the community, not all of them, I'm sure there are some black men who are wrongfully locked up. I'm not saying all, just saying most. All right. Once they are on the inside, once they feel like they have a common enemy, which coincidentally, once you get inside of jail, black people stick together and then start forming coalitions against other races. That makes sense. On the outside, black people are black people's worst enemies. Black men are black people's worst enemies. But inside, it's all black people versus all the white people versus all the Mexican people. It's funny how holding black men accountable somehow unifies them. Imagine that. Imagine that. Back to this picture. Why did I bring up this picture? Why are you looking at this picture right now? And what does it have to do with what we're talking about today? Well, I'm glad you asked. This is what it has to do with the picture. Why is it that men... No, I'm getting ahead of myself. If I had to describe the black manosphere in one picture, this would be it. A collective of failures who only unite under the common agenda of self-preservation amongst the failures of the collection of the whole. I'm getting deep tonight. I'm not sparing anybody tonight. Why is it that men at odds on the streets can go to a white man's jail facility and find common alliance in their hatred of black women? I typed that wrong, but you know what I'm trying to say. I kind of messed that up. Why is it that black men on the streets never eat together financially, business-wise, socially, but once they find a common enemy, they turn into model black men who barter, share, and run prison businesses to help each other out on the inside? Why is it that black men stick together in jail more than they do in society? I have a question for you. I have more questions. Why is it that black men can only unify when they're oppressed? I.e., us having the best community in the 1930s, in 1940s, in the 1920s, when we were truly oppressed, right? Show you this picture again. Why is this? I don't understand. Why is it that black men can unify when they're... This is crazy. Why is it that black men can unify in the destruction of their own neighborhoods, aka gang culture, aka disparaging their own women, aka demeaning good black men and women in the community who are trying to preach and and bring family and marriages to the forefront. Why are they simps? Why is it that more black men can unify against quote unquote simps like Russell Wilson versus the actual men like Future? Why is that there's more community in the black men who are seeking destruction of the black community? Why is that? Why is that? I'm gonna explain why to you. I'm gonna explain why. I'm gonna explain why. I'll let you know. Why is it that black men can eat together inside of the prison system, but when they get to the outside, they fail to do what the white man is able to make them do when he locks them up? Why is it that black men are only able to unify online to the tune of nearly 2 to 3 million subscribers of Kevin Scamos, Coach Greg Adams, and all these other paid-as-spirit content creators, but on a business level can't even unify amongst 3 of themselves? There's unity in the system of destruction in regards to black men. And among the most ununified group of men in America, the destruction of black women is where they unify. This is why Kevin Scamios almost has 1 million followers and subscribers. This is why they fight so hard against the actual progression of black people in the black community, because that does not unify, that does not rally them, that does not get their pot stirring, for lack of a better term. That does not move them. Where they move, by and large, is by seeing destruction. That's what moves most black men. Destruction. This is why Kevin Scamios never made it to 1 million subscribers, never made it to 300,000 to 200,000 to 100,000 to 50,000 subscribers when he was talking to black men, because that does not move them. Progression, by and large, does not move most black men. Only destruction does. Only unifying and trying to destroy their own women will move them. Just like they did us with the slave ships back in the day. Just like they sold other black people, that's what moved them. It was the money and selling themselves out. That's what moved the black men back in the day in Africa. My God. Okay, thank you so much for the channel membership. Welcome to the channel member side. Welcome to the channel member side. Channel members, we'll get some vlogs that I'm getting ready to drop one of these days. Jason Allen says, positivity doesn't sell in our community. Self-destruction is what a lot of us gravitate towards, unfortunately. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I say this all the time. After the white man really made segregation illegal, really gave black people their freedom, right? The first thing black people started doing is selling drugs. Black men started doing is selling drugs to the community. Violence went up. Gangs started becoming made. And then they started killing each other. Rap became popular, NWA, and then we started self-destruction to the point we are now. And then Kevin Scamios wants to ask a woman, what can black women do to fix the community? What can you do to fix our F-ups? Hey, Callaway says, damn, you're right. Look at Chicago. Not just Chicago. Look at Compton. Look at Chicago. Look at Minnesota. Look at a city in the middle of Idaho that's predominantly young black men. And you'll see the same trend everywhere. And you don't have to just even look at the cities. Just look at the numbers. They'll argue me tooth and nail. But at the end of the day, you can't argue being dead last in comparison to every other type of racial group in America. You can't argue that. Detroit, DC. Alley Cat says women can only do so much. It wouldn't be such a problem. It wouldn't be such a problem, right? If the men truly were trying to do the best that they could do. But the fact that they always put it on the women, it's all the women's fault. The women have to do everything. That's disturbing, because you're the one that's saying that you want the women to follow you. So how can you let Kevin Samuels, your fraud father, say that he's preaching the truth when he's asking women what they can do for the community? In the same breath, you're telling women that they need to follow you and your leadership. That's a contradiction. That's cognitive dissonance to the highest level. So do you want them to follow you or not? Do you want them to fix the community like your godfather said, or ask that woman on that live stream? Or do you want to be the ones to fix the community and have your women follow you? Both can't happen here. Incredible. Let's move on really quick. We're opening up the panel soon. I'm not going to go a whole hour this time before I open up the panel. I'm opening up the panel soon. Just got a few more things to say. I talked in my past life and about my past life of what I used to do. At one point, I was a music engineer. I used to be an audio engineer, and I worked for free for a group of black heathens, whom in the end ended up threatening my life. Right? I've talked about giving my own apartment keys to a man I used to call my brother, only to end up going homeless for years, while on the opposite end, he was sleeping with my ex-girlfriend. I've talked about how the Latin race sticks together, how every race sticks together. Let me show you a video really quickly. I just thought about this. I'm going to show you all a video of the difference between the Latin race and the black race. This is going to be a very interesting video, right? And I want to show you exactly why black people are where they are. Because we do not have leaders that are this unified. Let me show you this really quickly. No, he didn't take my home. I had an apartment at the time, and eventually I lost my job, and I was trying to do self-sustained entrepreneurship type business, and I went homeless because I lost my job. I essentially became dusty, as I always say, and I wanted to crash at his place for a while because he had been crashing at my place for 6 months. I gave him my keys and everything. He could come to my apartment whenever he wanted to, and eventually, you know, he got another roommate. I was supposed to be roommates with him. He got another roommate. He apologized to me and all this other stuff. And I said, okay, no problem. Well, I just need to sleep on the couch for a little bit, man. You know, I just need a little bit of help. And he wouldn't let me do that either. He wouldn't call me when they were having little get-togethers and stuff like this. Eventually, he ended up sleeping with one of my ex-girlfriends, right? So I'll explain that story in another time. Let me show you this video really quickly. It's not too pertinent right now. Ignore the title or forgive the title. It's a bit of an ignorant title. It's a bit of an ignorant way I had to type this in right here, but I should type this back. I put Mexican. So. Now, this is a black man recording this, and the reason why this black man sounds so excited is because he knows what he's saying won't happen by and large in his community. So watch this video, and we'll explain what's going on afterwards.
Mexico, man, this is what black people need to be on, man. I swear to God, I love this shit. They are packing they shit up and shutting this motherfucker, huh? On my mama, all that shit. They are not bullshitting. They packed up. Yeah, I see it's over. Them motherfuckers now packed up and dipped. They thought they was gonna play with these amigos, and they said, "Oh yeah, we rise together, homie." And they leaving, and they not bullshitting. Take this in, man. Look at this, man.
Look at that
they
warehouse.
Shut this big motherfucker down today, man. We all going home, man. The SAs, look, ain't no grinding, cutting, welding. This motherfucker dead ass quiet. The Mexicans shut this motherfucker down, nigga. Said, fuck you, bitch. And Billy, see, this is what I'm talking about, baby. I swear to God, they got me here geeked up on my Malcolm X shit. On my mama, nigga.
On his Malcolm X. On his Malcolm X, huh? He's geeked up.
Nigga, look at this. They shut this bitch down. They pissed him.
So what happened is one of the bosses was being disrespectful to one of the Latino workers in that warehouse. And every single Latino worker left the warehouse, effectively shutting it down. And whatever situation or argument that one boss had with that one Latino, I'm sure it was corrected the next day. But you see, this is why this black man is so hyped. This is why this video is so important. This is what doesn't happen in the black community. Instead, we attack our own, and then you wonder why we're the least earning. You wonder why we have the least businesses. You wonder why black men are the least educated. Because there is no unification amongst black men unless there's destruction. You see, every other race unifies under progression, and they'll do it even if it hurts them in the short term. This is why this black man was so geeked up, because you'll never see a warehouse full of black people. You'll never see an office full of black men. You'll never see any job full of black men walk out as a collective and demand justice be done, or else. You'll never see that. What you'll see is a group of black men saying, "Oh, well, shoot, I gotta take care of my kid, and we gotta shoot, bro. I feel you, man. I'm sorry that happened to you, right? Just like my homeboy did to me, left me out to dry. Man, I wish I could, man, but I got my girl, and then she just bought a new cat, and the cat, he's allergic to kibbles and bits, so I gotta buy a different type of cat food. Really, I gotta buy a dog food for the cat, and all this other BS." You saw how excited this black man was. He said he was on his Malcolm X shit. You see, the thought of unification excites men like this because he knows that'll never happen in the black community amongst black men. There is no unification for actual progress, only destruction. There's another video. I'll try and find it, but essentially it was a women who were picking strawberries in the field, and they demanded to get paid that day because of something, and they all threatened to leave once again if they didn't get paid that day. And guess what? They got paid that day. Lamrin says that video should go viral. That was pretty amazing. Absolutely. It's sad that it has to be amazing to us. But make no mistake about it, most races would do the exact same thing that happened in that building. Oh, really? Oh, really? You're going to treat us like that? Okay. Good luck. Lamrin says that's how you stay on code. A Callaway says, following suit now. Black men don't do that. They fight and not hate black women. They hate each other when they're winning. If one black man got more than the other black man, they hate it. Absolutely. Crabs in the bucket mentality. And this is because of the disparity of the economic gap in black communities, right? When a black person finally does establish himself a bit, his biggest enemy is black people. His biggest enemy is black men. I keep saying people. I mean men. You know what I'm trying to say. Read a couple more comments. We'll continue. I'll open up the panel here in a little bit. If you disagree, then disagree with me live. Don't keep going on in the comment section saying a whole bunch of stuff. I'll block you myself if I have to. Gabrielle says, literally, the Latinos were in sync. Maggie D says, exactly. That proves the lesson black men are supposed to learn, but refuse to. Kenyatta Extra Large says, I'm wrong. That's a great response there, Kenyatta. Thank you. Tasha Fear says they lack foresight. Jedi Mike in the building. Good to see you, Jedi. Is there a $5 super chat? Okay. Kenyatta says, can you tell me what the civil rights movement was by then? Why do y'all keep talking about the civil rights movement? This is 1960s, 1950s, 1940s. It's 2021, all right? In case you haven't noticed, in the civil rights movement, black men weren't the main killers of black men. It was actually white men at the time. In 2021, it's not white men. It's black men, okay? So forget your civil rights slave talk, okay? And let's fast forward about 80, 70, 60, whatever amount of years to modern day time, okay? We're free now. I know you might not believe that, but we're free now. Okay. You're not being oppressed anymore. All right. Not to mention the way that Malcolm X actually spoke, which is that your nation's only as strong as your women, would be considered symbology by men like yourself. So if you want to actually refer to civil rights and the movement that was started by good black men at that time, truly strong black men at that time, then I need you to understand also that most of the men that would argue with you and against me would also call Malcolm X a simp, would also call MLK a simp, men that advocated for marriage simps. And that's what I do on this channel. So whose side are you on? I think you need to ask that question to yourself. You're wrong. Kenyatta says, but you said we don't unite for anything positive. Yes, Kenyatta, in 2021, black men do not unite for anything positive by and large. It is not 1960. I'm not talking about 1960s. We're in 2021. Okay, let's stop using 1960s references because men in the 1960s were actual providers for their families, even amongst blatant, hateful, true racism that you'll never experience in your life. Okay, it was a different caliber of men. Okay, I'm tired of you always trying to compare the 1960s men to men of today. 1960s men wore suits every day. They handled themselves with decorum in the 50s and 40s. They were respectful amongst each other. Most black men are not like that anymore. I'm not saying you have to wear a suit. I'm not just saying that. I'm saying that the men of the 1960s are stark difference in comparison to the men today. They always try and argue this. Well, in the 30s, we was kings and we was on top of the world. I'm glad to hear it. It's 2021. Let's get with the times. Opening up the panel soon. I've talked about how whites and Asians dominate the economic systems of a very large portion of the world. I've talked about the fact that the black community was at its best as far as unity when the white men truly had their foot on their necks. There's your 1960s reference. There's your 1930s Wall Street reference. When you actually faced oppression, you were better. Now that you have freedom, you're worse. Fast forward to now, and black men continue the mission of age past that white supremacists started, taking the mantle farther than it could have ever been dreamed to carry. I talked about the fact that black women have been and are still loyal to black males. Even the Pookie who tells her she needs to build with, afterward admonishing her for failing to choose the better man that he told her he should have built with to begin with. I haven't actually talked about this yet. I said I have. But the fact that black women like Harriet Tubman, who actually freed the same lineage of Negroes who have the women like Harriet Tubman, black women who actually freed the same lineage of Negroes who have the audacity to disparage women that stood by their weak male counterparts' side. The counterparts that allowed them and their children to become enslaved for centuries in the first place. I talked about the fact that one of the most rich black people in the 1800s was a black woman who used her money to help build the black community, free slaves, and an educated black woman who, by today's standards, would be ridiculed and mocked. She was a business owner, she was educated, and she had money. But of course, it was different then because it was the 1930s, and in the 1930s, we was truly facing. And I looked up a statistic on Google yesterday, and the statistic said But let's dig deeper into this. I'm opening the panel in a couple minutes. I said I wasn't going to go an hour. Here I am talking. I'm about to go an hour. Let's dig deeper into the black man and his ability to only unify when it comes at the cost of his own race. Kevin Samuels, black man that sold us into slavery. 1 million, a very large number, 1 million of subscribers that Kevin Samuels will soon reach. Not all black men, some black women as well, right? Mostly brainwashed men who seem to deem themselves the moral authority of masculinity in the black community. That's when black men come together. Either it's about hatred of sports. You will come together for sports, I'll say that. But even most of the time when you come together for sports, you guys end up fighting over sports teams. You don't even fully unify in sports. I take that back. I take that back. I'm not going easy tonight. Thank you to all channel contributors. If you want to donate to the PayPal, Cash App, there's links down below. You do not have to donate. It's in my little speech. I have my links here. When to stop and give myself a break and put my links in there. I love you all. Kira says, I love it when you talk. Thank you, Kira. It means the world. I love talking and being able to do what I do. Thank you so much. Read a couple more comments. Let's open up the panel. If you want to hop on the panel, you're more than welcome. Hop on. I want to give a huge shout out to Organic Black. I want to give a huge shout out to Tony Morrison. I want to give a huge shout out to Loren, to Beijik, to Kier. I want to give a huge shout out to Lemonade. And then all the other new contributors to the Cash App. Huge shout out to y'all. Also to the ladies that emailed me, Namaya. Huge shout out to you as well. And to all the other ladies that emailed me. If I'm missing your name, forgive me. IK, I see you here all the time. Good to see you, IK. Learning IT, Taylor Beauty, always in the building. Taylor Beauty, thank you so much for always being here and supporting, and for the kind emails. I'm going to finish a bit more, and then we're going to go ahead and continue. Georgia One says Mary Ellen Peasant was a woman like that. Yes, she was another wildly rich black woman in the time when uh, when richness and riches was pretty non-existent, and not just America, or I'm sorry, not just in the black community, but in America in general. And these women were able to get rich. It's powerful, man. We have Toya and we have Siamese Cat in the building. 1 second. We're going to finish up with our rhetoric and then we'll move right over to y'all, ladies. So good to see y'all in here. Siamese Cat loves the dark, but Siamese, it's like a mysterious vibe, Siamese. I like it. I like it. I like it. A couple more things to say, and then we'll finish off with our rhetoric here.
Sorry, my lighting is kind of poor.
Oh, no. I like it. It's cool, Siamese. You're good. You're good. No problem. This is why you will never see prevalence of black men on my channel. Because I do not, nor will I ever support the destruction of the black community. They hate the fact that I stand for progress. They hate the fact that I call them out on their BS. They hate the fact that I refuse to let a group of morally deficient, weak-minded individuals dictate what true masculinity and progress is. So long as there's breath in my lungs, you're going to continue to hate me. And I have no problem with it. I've examined the past 10 years of my life, and I realized that a lot of the hardships I went through was to try and prepare me for a moment like this, for a moment when it came down to eventually receiving a large amount of hate, receiving death threats, receiving lots of different forces trying to work against me, whether that be evil, mystical, black magic, whatever it might be. There's a lot of forces against me right now, but I know that and I see that.
I'm hoping you have all the legal counsel ready in case it's there to protect you.
Absolutely. Well, in one case, Siamese, I had when the channel went down, I actually reached out to a federal defense lawyer because in the case that I had with my YouTube channel going down, it could have gone to federal court, and so I reached out to a federal defense attorney, and so I have a decent relationship with him right now, and I haven't talked to him in a while because there's no need to, but yes, I have reached out to legal consultation and representation as well. Also, I do have YouTube on my side as well. YouTube sent like an aide or something to help me out with my channel, a correspondent or something. And so
Thank
I have
God that they're there.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I know that there's going to be more attacks on this channel. I know it's coming. But thank God I'm set
That's
up.
because you're too close to the truth.
Yeah, whenever you're close to something, whenever it hits hard, whenever it goes against the grain, people are going to have a problem with that, and that's fine by me. They can have all the problems they want to because the truth is going to remain the truth no matter what. And so I want to give a huge shout out to everybody on the panel.
And I remember when rap and hip hop and New Jack Swing, of course, it was more about harmless fun, dancing, partying out in the streets, falling in love, making friends here and there. And when it did talk about gang life, it spoke the truth about it. Think Gangsta's Paradise. It said this: he regretted it. He didn't want to be in it anymore. Clearly. He says, I don't know if I'll live to the age of 24, but the way things is going, I don't know. Clearly, he says it all.
Absolutely. Yes, at some point, and I agree with that. I think it's a great point, Siamese. At one point, gangster music used to talk about the struggle of trying to get out of the streets, and then at another point, it turned into promoting violence to stay in the streets and to stay in the struggle and to stay in the degeneracy. Somehow it switched around. Tasha Fear says this. The Chicago Tribune says 1,298 people have been shot so far this year, which is 291 more than last year. Incredible. But I'm the problem, of course. I'm the problem. You pandering. Here we go, Kenya. I think they hate the fact that you're a panderer. You a panderer.
You can't win with them. You can't.
You can't win. Absolutely not.
You're damn either way.
You're damned either way. You try and be a progressive. You try and be a man with actual moral ethics. You try and be someone that you would want your sisters to date, and they call you a panderer. You try and be somebody that you would want to be around your mother in case she actually needs assistance in a medical emergency. You're called a panderer. You try and be an upstanding citizen.
Can't win.
And you're a panderer. You can't win, Siamese. You can't win.
I have worked with a lot of black folk. And I've known one couple I've known. The man works in a factory while the woman I've worked with, she's trying to level herself up, and I believe he is too. And there is one guy that I think you would like. He is also a black guy he's got a podcast too.
Okay.
And he's a cab driver.
Okay. Well, I'll check him out, Siamese. I
His
appreciate
name
that.
is
Give me his
TC.
email. Yeah, give me his email in the private, or give me his YouTube channel in the private chat really quick, okay? Siamese, hold on one second. I'll move on to a couple of people. Cheryl with the $5 super chat says you were chosen. Thank you so much, Cheryl. I appreciate that. 1 second, Siamese cat. Toya, welcome to the panel. We're going to go in order here, and we're going to go in order and just make sure we keep everything straight. Toya, the floor is yours. So glad to see you.
Shout out to all my glitches. Hey, y'all.
Hey, Toya.
Hey!
Y'all are hilarious. If you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you stop by our Discord. The Discord is where we kind of, and this morning I saw the glitch, right? I saw everything that everybody was talking about. I was like, what is going on? So shout out. Make sure you join the Discord link in the chat below. Toya, what did you think about all of that? Now, here's the thing. I don't know if it really happened or not.
Just take my laugh for it. I promise you that. Just take it for it. Just take it, please.
Listen, I mean, and look, like I said, I don't, hey, everybody does what they're gonna do. That's cool. That's fine. It's just kind of a really interesting situation, and I guess really coincidental, right? I guess So let's ask Loren what she thinks. Toya, Loren, it's so good to see you back on the panel here. Hope everything has been well. What did you think about everything in regards to this entire situation and what I've addressed so far?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hey, Glitch.
Hey, Glitch.
Y'all.
Hey!
All I gotta say is Kevin Samuels got some loyal glitches out here, yo. They riding for him. He got some ride or die glitches out here. They not going nowhere. I made the very toxic decision to go on Jessica X's panel this morning. Because she was trying to get ahead of it and do some damage control. Okay. And in her, very feeble attempt to make a false equivalency, like she brings you up. She's like, the honest truth was just exposed for some very tragic behavior. And I guess she was talking about the Koreana situation, but I'm just like, she was being very general. And I was like, do you even know what happened? And so of course she didn't say anything. My whole entire point was, y'all, if it is what it is, then what is the problem? Nobody cares. All we've been saying this whole time is, can you come out the closet and live in your truth? That's all we're saying. And when you just say stuff like that, these avatars, when they attack how you look, and I wasn't even on camera. I just had my picture up. But oh my gosh, these people are so mad that they're just attacking stuff that has nothing to do with the fact that your fraud father just outed himself. Okay, right. That's what happened. Y'all got to take this L and stop acting like that. It's not what it's not, because it is what it is. He's a clear and present, guy that prefers what he likes. But who cares? Just come out the closet. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, that whole conversation, which is not even up anymore, it was pretty the revolving door of nonsense, talking about stuff that has nothing to do. People are asking me, well, what about in the 80s when women did movies? And I'm like, what are you what does that have to do with anything? Who cares about? They're talking about a song. They were like, oh yeah, because No Scrubs came out and that made black men look bad. And then this movie with they actually brought up that movie. What was it called? Something New with Sanaa Lathan. They were just like that, that
I told you most of the time I have to put together the insults against me for them, because I'm reading it and I'm like, what? Okay, hold on, let me read this. Let me read this sentence, because I'm just not understanding how he's trying to insult me to begin with. And I'm not saying all black men are stupid. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that a lot of the time when it's men who try and insult me or something, I don't know what they're trying to say. Loren, that's a great point. I'm going to give you 1 second, Loren. We're going to let Sean B go. Sean B, the floor is yours. What did you have to say, Sean B, on this entire situation, or how do you feel?
Well, it's the first time I'm calling. I ain't got nothing to say. I think you one simp ass motherfucker. All right. So that's all I got to say.
Well eloquated, Sean.
I told you they mad, honest. I'm not lying. I told you they mad.
That's all I got. You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace.
I want to let Sean speak for a while.
You're a disgrace to the black race. Disgrace to everybody. That's all I got to say. You simp ass motherfucking son of a bitch.
Thank you, Sean. Sean, you could have stayed, man. I didn't want to take you down. I do entertain and like the hatred at times. But Sean, come back if you'd like to. So that was a very well thought out, argument to everything that we said so far. I'm the danger to the black community, so watch out for me, because your children, your families are all in threat by the honest truth in our community here. Be very careful of me. All right, so watch out. Coco, welcome to the panel. The floor is yours, Coco. Coco, I see. Let me unmute you. Go ahead, Coco.
I mean, I can care less about it, but
Oh, one second, Jedi. My bad. 1 second. Coco, unmute yourself if you can, and then the floor is yours. Calling once, calling twice for Coco. I think Coco's having problems right now with the connection. Coco, I'm going to take you down. Yeah, she just rejoined again. Hold on, Coco. I'm going to bring you up right now. Hold on. Because she's been kind of trying to get on. Coco, the floor is yours. Go ahead. Coco, you're killing me here. All right, Coco, let's take you down. Good luck to you. We'll try and get it worked out next time, Coco. Let's go ahead to go to Stampitis. Stampitis, one of the channel frequent flyers here. So good to see Stampitis, ladies and gentlemen. Let's let Stampitis breathe a little bit tonight. He is consistently here and he's respectful. That's a lot more than what I can say for men like, who was the guy that just took himself down that insulted me? So Stampitis, the floor is yours. And then we'll kind of get back to our usual here in a bit with you. Okay, go ahead, Stamp. It's good to see you again, Stamp.
This could go to either you or even Jedi Mike. I'm kind of curious to see what he would say to it. The video that you showed where the Hispanics walked out, do you think that they did that because it seemed as if the vast majority of them are Hispanic? Because in most jobs, you don't really see, well, except lower paying jobs, you don't really see a vast majority of black people, let alone black males. What's your take on that?
Jedi Mike, did you want to answer that really quickly?
No, you can go ahead, man.
So the question is, Stamp, they're coming for you in the chat, so I held it off as long as I could, Stamp. But so you said the question is, do you think that they walked out because majority of them were Latino or of Mexican descent?
Yeah.
Well, either way, I mean, I guess, I mean, it's kind of irrelevant to the point because, I mean, I don't know how what kind of answer you want. I'm saying that, I guess the question would be, do you think that if it was black men that they would have done the same thing, right? That they would have all walked out? I don't think that would have been the case, but here's the thing. Mexicans and Latinos are known to stick together to a much higher rate. For instance, down here in Texas, when they build a house, each family has a different room and they save up their money collectively inside the same house. And then they'll all eventually move out once the lease has come to the end of that. But they'll all live in the same home. They'll all eat dinner together. And once it comes time for them to actually buy a house separately, they'll just have enough money to buy their own houses. This is why you always see Latinos and Mexicans that have big trucks, that have nice houses and things like that. That's because they save their money collectively for a while. They'll live under the same roof for a year or two, work really hard, all do construction, high-paying jobs. It doesn't matter whether or not the documentation. It doesn't matter because they work so hard and they work so well that they're able to still come over to America, progress, make money, buy land, buy cars, buy trucks, buy houses here, send money back home. And they're able to flip the system really well. But that's because they stick together. Asians are the same way. Whenever Asians make a business, they save in the same savings account for a year straight. Then on the new year, they'll give one family member in the Asian family the money to start a new business, and they rinse, wash, and repeat. And they do that for 10 straight years. And then after 10 years, you have 10 nail salons. I hate to be racist or stereotypical there, but they are into nails and things of that nature. And so it is customary to see other races stick together far more than black people stick together, right? That's how they're able to do well. At one point or another, all the races were poor in America except for the white race. But other races figured out that with synergy came more economic progress. It's just that black people, black men are yet to figure that out as the leaders of the community. So to answer your question, no, it's not necessarily because they're all Mexican. It's just because they were Mexican is what I'm thinking there. Let's move on to a couple other people on the panel. Jedi Mike, I'll have you wait for a second. I want to let Uncle Loke go. Uncle Loke, are you an active Crip game member?
No, I'm not active.
Okay, so you're an ex gang member.
Nah, it's no X, man. It's for life.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you. Well, well played. Well played. Uncle Logue, what did you feel about everything I've said tonight?
I mean, I think it's a false equivalence. When you compare black men to other men. Um, so I mean, I
Okay.
believe it's basically taken out of it's out of context. No,
Okay.
Mexicans or non-black people don't have the same history or the they don't come here because they come here based off of and they get the opportunities because they don't want us as black men to have them opportunities. Now, I'm not a type of person that's going to lie to myself and try to say that we didn't. It was a point in time where we had the opportunity, or we do have the opportunity, and yet we refuse to become a collective. But black people
Hmm.
ain't no collective. I mean, they keep calling us as a race. We're not a race. We're a culture. We are a fractured culture where you it's just different cultures, it's different subgroups within the black quote and unquote community, but we not no
Okay.
collective.
Well, that was you said a lot right there. You said a lot right there. So I'm going to address a couple things. I appreciate you, trying to lay out, good argument. I appreciate that, Uncle Loke. And I would agree with one point, which is that we aren't a collective. Now, I place the responsibility of that on black men, but some of the commenters I'd like to read here, right? And that's that we have to kind of move past the history of the 1800s, right? Mikhail Simon says that, and so Mikhail Simone says that. So we have to kind of forward ourselves to modern day, Uncle Loke. And the fact of the matter is, we know how, as a collective, to model our community. We have other races and communities that have done the same thing. And make no mistake about it, the Latino or the Asians didn't have it easy when they first came to America. Now, I understand what you're saying. We were slaves, we were this and we were that. But Uncle Luke, we're not slaves anymore. That's the problem, right? And so we see and we know how the wheel's supposed to operate, but for whatever reason, it's still very hard for black people to operate that wheel. And so, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense, but I'm not talking about slavery or the 1800s. I'm talking about the last
Right.
50 years. I'm talking about
Okay.
how easy it is for I live in a 90% black city. How
Okay.
easy it is for foreigners to get business license or business opportunities in our communities. Yes, yet it's a struggle or a fight
So
for
so
us to
so
get
Uncle
business
Luke,
in our own
what's
communities.
have Uncle Luke, have you tried to get a business license in your community, Uncle Luke?
Not me exactly. I mean, yeah,
Okay.
I'm not a business license, but I tried to open a restaurant, and it
Okay.
seems like they didn't want to rent. They didn't want to open it up or let us do it. You know what I'm saying? And then once we walked away from it, it seemed like they gave it to some Arab people. So it's just
Okay.
like they ain't want to rent it to us, but they rented to somebody else. So I mean that was that little attempt and based on the different things that I see, only way and even in the black city, only way a business is achieved is if we, what I'm saying, we budget and save our own money and be real forceful with it. That's the
But
only possible
well, Uncle
way.
Luke, I think you nailed it on the head. That is what every other race does, Uncle Luke. Listen, money is power, and I appreciate your concerns. We're gonna come back to you in a little bit, Uncle Luke. We're gonna come back to you. I like your position and where you try and approach it from. But this is how every other race has to handle it too, right? Kiki Nicole says every race struggles with that too. They don't just get preferable treatment because they're Arabic or Mexican or whatever it might be. No, if you have money, there is somewhere in your city, Uncle Luke, that's going to rent out a spot for you to have a restaurant. Not everybody's going to say no. Now, I'll even agree with you to a certain extent and to a certain position in that it might be a little bit harder for you as a black man. But guess what, Uncle Luke? I tell this story all the time. When I walk into a building and I have my backpack on, sometimes they tell me to leave my backpack at the front door because they think I might steal something because I'm a black man with dreadlocks. I'm presumed to be a little bit more on the nefarious quote unquote side because of my outwardly appearance, right? They don't necessarily know me, but unfortunately, the stereotype is pretty much true in this case. Stereotypes aren't always true, but in this case, where a lot of black men have been charged with petty theft. I understand what might have happened in the 40s or the 50s and how they might have been coming from poor areas. I've stolen myself before as well. So I have to be very real and honest about situations when this types of things happen. Because yes, I might not be in there to steal, but that does not negate the fact that the unfortunate reality is there's probably somebody that looked like me that stole before, and I'm going to receive that type of treatment from what might have happened in the past, right? So this is just reality of it. However, not every store tells me to take off my backpack when I walk inside. So I can't just say, well, I'm going to stop carrying my backpack because every single place tells me to put it down. No, not every place does. Some do and some don't. The ones who don't tell me to take my backpack off, I try and shop more frequently at. That's the same way you're going to have to handle your business in this case, right? Arsenal God, welcome to the panel. Before I let you go, Arsenal God, I want to let Noor speak, and then I want to let Gabby speak. Noor, then Gabby, and then Arsenal God, and then Jedi Mike will come to you to wrap up. Noor, the floor is yours.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
The brother said something interesting, but I think this is kind of the typical thing that a lot of black men say. Like, the truth is, life is hard for everyone at some level.
Absolutely.
Life might be harder for some people at other levels, right? But so what? Like, you're gonna cry and just let your community keep falling apart and then blaming some abstract man out there? No. Being part of a man, part of the story about being part of being a man is taking responsibility even when the fault isn't yours. Black men need to leave behind this whole fault mechanics. Women can
Who's
engage
crying?
in it, but as men.
Hold on, Uncle Luke. Hold on.
Man, black men need to leave this behind fault mechanics, right? It doesn't matter whose fault it is. What matters is our responsibility to fix the problem, because that's the only thing that matters. We can't be putting any responsibility on someone else who doesn't care about us. I mean, that's obvious, right? It's like, if you're a parent of a child, the only person that really matters about that child's life is you, because you have the power to change how that child is going to see the rest of the world. You can't blame society and say, well, no, the person with the power has got to keep doing it and making it, not making excuses. I don't take excuses from black men. No excuses, right? I've got a company out here. I work hard and I make it work. Did I have a couple of issues? Because what the brother's talking about is somewhat true, right? But it's not complete the way he thinks. For example, my uncle is into real estate, right? So what that means is he tried to get a real estate license to be able to rent his houses to individuals instead of families. Now, the city commissioner basically said no at first, but then he noticed that the Nepalese families were able to do it. How did he do? He learned exactly what they did. He learned that they had to come together as a group. He attended the town hall meetings and then brought it up in front of everyone. And then that's when his license got expedited. You got to find solutions to your problem. Saying why, we all know why things are the way they are. That conversation should never even exist. The only conversation that should exist is how do we move past it.
That's it. As a man, that's what your job is. Nor I couldn't have said that better even if I tried. Very well said. There's no excuses at the end of the day. Because, yeah, life's not fair. Life's not fair, Uncle Luke. It's never going to be fair, man. Some people start off from an equal or an unequal advantage or a starting point. We can't change that, man. But the answer isn't to just complain about it anymore.
Let me say this. Do you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead. Yeah, make it quick, Uncle Luke. Make it quick. 20 seconds less.
I got you. I'm not making any excuses. I'm just speaking the facts of the way it is, and that's how.
Right, and Uncle Luke, we're acknowledging what you're saying, Uncle Luke. We're acknowledging what you're saying. Listen, Noor just told you, yes, it might be more difficult, and sometimes it is more difficult. But just because it's more difficult, A, doesn't mean it's impossible, and then B, doesn't mean that you should just give up because it's more difficult. If you have that mentality in life, you're never going to push through to get anything done, because life's not easy, right? My mom always used to tell me when I was younger that. Hold on, Uncle Luke. I know your position. I know. We'll come back to you in a little bit. My mom always used to tell me when I was younger, she said, you need to make sure that you do doubly as well, Jonathan, because listen, you are black and it's going to be a little bit harder for you. She used to tell me that all the time when I was in school. You need to do your best and then some, because it's going to be a little harder for you. And I remember that. So no more pity party, right? I ended up doing bad in life. And now I realize that, you know what, mom's right. I got to start doing better. I got to work double time. I got to do as much as I can while I can do. And that's it. Everything else doesn't matter. Everything else is irrelevant. All your failures, it doesn't matter at that point. If you fail at this point, we've had people, our ancestors in the past, that have done great in the face of blatant hatred and racism, in the face of imminent murder, depending on the time of day that they were walking around the city, and they were able to sustain themselves and build in America. You have no excuses at this point. Gabby, the floor is yours. After which we're going to go to Arsenal God, then Jedi Mike. Go ahead, Gabby.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Oh, thank you. I'm new. Like, I just watched your channel. I really like what you've been saying, like, and what everyone else's points they've been saying. The only thing I have to say is that my issue with Kevin Samuels is that, like, he says Black women are masculine, and he says that, like, we exhibit, like, we shouldn't have attitude, shouldn't exhibit all these masculine traits, but then expects us to build and lead the community, which requires masculine traits to do those
Absolutely.
things.
It's a direct contradiction, Gabby. Cognitive dissonance, and thank you so much for that comment, Gabby. Really quickly, Philly Kid with the $20 super chat says, just showing support. Brother, I appreciate that, Philly Kid, for that $20 super chat. I haven't checked the Cash App yet, ladies and gentlemen, so if you've donated on Cash App, I appreciate that as well. I haven't checked the Cash App or the PayPal. Gabby, that's a great comment there. Cognitive dissonance is the thing. That's the word. That's the phrase I always use when I'm describing the Black Manosphere, the Kevin Scamios, the Coach Greg Adams, the Donovan Sharps, because they blatantly say one thing, and then when the women actually try and do that thing, they then reprimand the women for doing the thing that they told them to do in the first place. Like the dating bums that we talked about earlier today. You shouldn't date a bum, but we also want a woman that's going to build with us, because if you don't build with us, then you're a gold digger and you're only expecting to meet the man at the finish line, and that's not fair, and this and that. It's like, well, do you want her to build with the bum or the man that's in a bummy position in life at the time, or a struggle love relationship type thing? Or do you want her to just go ahead and go to the winners? You're going to be mad that she had a kid with the bum at the time if it doesn't work out. You're going to be mad if she tries to have a kid with the winner because she's not high value to meet a high value or a winner type man. It's so backwards. It's incredible. It's incredible. Arsenal God, the floor is yours. Jedi Mike, we're going to have you finish up and kind of clean up where everybody is standing. Go ahead, Arsenal God.
Yeah, hi. I'm first here to defend Kevin Samuels. That's
right.
the first point. I'm going to talk about, you did, because you're obviously clout chasing. I'm going to do you on your last one. You did where he said he hates Black women because the woman that called in with 4 children, on his Instagram live, which I actually watched live, and he was very calm with her, something you didn't mention because it don't suit your narrative. And he told her that she should basically, as child services bin, because she hasn't got a full-time job. She got a part-time job and she's got a little benefit, and the kids are struggling. In that situation, they would be better off with the social services. Well, we call it social services in the UK.
Okay. So I'll address that one. I'll address that one first. Hold on, Arsenal. I'll let you go in a second. Let me just address that first, and then you can pick up where you are. All right. Listen, you are not God. Okay, you're not God. If you do not get the opportunity to dictate how somebody lives their life just because you think that that they aren't, or that they haven't necessarily made the right choice. What I say by this is this. Irregardless of whether or not we're having a conversation and I decide to say F you in a calm way or F you in a very loud, boisterous way, the term and the phrase F you in and out of itself is disrespectful. So whenever I hear Kevin Scamios telling a woman that she isn't high value because of her weight, she's not high value because of a decision that she made of life, whenever I hear somebody try and judge somebody else based off of the same principles or factors. Hold on, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Arsenal, I don't want to take you down, but I'll take you down if we have to. I'll let you speak. I'll let you get your rocks off. Whenever I hear somebody judge somebody else on the same failures, i.e. divorcing 2 times, that they are trying to judge somebody else for, that is what we call a hater. That is what we call somebody who is carrying double standards. And that's what we call somebody who doesn't operate in empathy or compassion. Now, the example that you're bringing doesn't reflect Kevin Scamios cursing out women like he has in the past. The example that you're bringing might be one of the quote unquote picture perfect narratives that you can try and fight and argue for your fraud father for, to try and justify your maniacal, I think that's the right word, maniacal fantasy fanaticism type support, right? And unfortunately, that's just not the case. All right. I'm not going to let you do that because the man that you're standing for contradicts everything that he says. And aside from that, just about every live stream that he has carries himself with a condescending tone, a rude tone, a sense of God or this God-like entity that he is. And it's an honor for women to be able to talk to him just because he wears a suit and he has $20,000 worth of boots, right? There's nothing that's actually contributing that's valuable substance or information or advice that he can give to anybody other than you should get a therapist. Most of the time his live streams are just full of hatred in the chat room, men like yourself who are calling women refrigerators and things of that nature. And so for you to sit here and say, well, he's not always being rude and this and that, that's not true because the community that he stands to represent is directly reflective of who he is and his movement and who he is as a person. Okay. I say that to say this, and I'll let you go in 1 second. The pastor is indicative of the flock that he shepherds. Okay. So if you're a pastor and your church members are buck wild crazy, then that's going to reflect on you as a pastor. Okay. Because what you're teaching is supposed to be being put into practice and motion. I would be remiss for you to sit here and say, without me checking you, that Kevin Samuel's chat room is nothing other than hatred, bigotry, and white supremacy at work in 2021. You know that's the case, and I know it's the case. I'll let you say in 15 more seconds, and then we got to move on.
Yeah, that what you just said there, that last part is nonsense. He's helped lots of women.
Right.
He's helped lots of women, and there's testimonies
Help
online.
them do what? Help them do what?
No. Let me finish my point. Yeah, I'll let you all finish your point. You let me finish my point. Yeah, and then after you can come in. Yeah.
Yeah, 5 more seconds, Arsenal.
Yeah. Okay, so and this is the thing about it. I've just looked at the statistics on blackdemographics.com. Yeah.
Oh, all right, not the statistics. All right, next stream. We'll get to the statistics next stream. We're not doing statistics in Black Arsenal. I know the statistics. Lord have mercy. You guys in these statistics. Yes, Kevin Samuels has gotten 5 women with wedding rings out of the million subscribers that he has. Ultimately, at a 0.00000002% marriage success rate.
I want to talk.
It's quite the number there. Arsenal, you can come back sometime and talk about it. We're not gonna kind of go back and forth with you on this. All right. Next time, Jedi Mike, the floor is yours if you'd like to address what Arsenal was saying. If not, you can just chill there and relax a little bit more, and we'll come back to you in a second.
Yeah, first of all, how you guys doing? I kind of pop into this stream a little bit. I just literally just got off work and stuff. So, and thank you everyone in the panel for like catching me up on stuff. But I just want to address in terms of what we were kind of talking about as like one, going to the video, but also going to the point, I guess, what the previous person on the panel was speaking about is that, when you see the folks, leaving because one being mistreated. I mentioned before that a lot of us is Black men is like we have this lone wolf mentality and not a pack mentality. It's like we like to become a pack to things that had nothing to stand on. So it's like I feel like that the frustration that I have personally is that when we kind of use our circumstances as excuses, and as we mentioned, yes, eventually it's a hard thing. As my mother, being the only child, like she's told to me, like, listen, you have to remember one thing: 1, you're a man, and 2, you're Black. But at the same time, it's like your father and I, we make sure that you're not who your greatest challenge is. Basically, is like you overcome it. And Maya Angelou talks about this is that you have to stand up straight, realize who you are, and then you stand over, tower over your circumstances. And I feel like consistently, I feel like us as men, we have not talking about the shepherding the flock, but we're not shepherding our young boys actually to know that you're creating these excuses to actually to validate your lack of ambition and also lack of accountability. See, one of the things that I keep seeing in this YouTube space and stuff like that, and the thing that's just kind of frustrating to me is that we don't we don't look out for each other like other communities too, but we don't have this type of mafia mentality that other communities such as like the Jewish community, the Asian community, or anything like that actually benefiting our people. We do have a gang mentality, but it's not really actually benefiting our community well. It's actually being self-destructive. As I mentioned, that radical accountability and responsibility would change your life to every man. And I'm saying that by taking accountability, that you accept that your life is the way it is due to your decisions and due to your lack of responsibility or lack of actually accountability of saying, listen, I can have two choices. Either I can execute and plan an attack, or I can complain and delay progress. So I just say that to, I can say that to a lot of people, and regardless what the the issue with Kevin Samuels is about. I think it's more focused on, instead about complaining, why not executing? Because I'm just saying that is more than anything. Because I mentioned good men, we divide or conquer, but in silence, meaning that we don't clout or boast about this, about what we do. We show what we do. So anything I challenge like a lot of men is that, why are we actually not doing this as a gathering together as a pack, but having a base of integrity and foundation, and actually being the leaders that we claim that we know that we should be? And also all the stuff that we complain that women are not doing this, women are not doing that. Well, I'm saying that if we're actually being the men of integrity, being the leaders of the household, actually shepherding our children, covering and protecting our household, protecting our block, our community, is that then all the stuff that we claim that we desire, it will come naturally. And I'm saying that I'd rather have delay spending the time of progress and execution instead of just fast money, I'm just trying to see how I can chase some tail, because that should be a lack of that's just a lack of foundation and had nothing to stand on.
Absolutely. Jedi Mike, so well said. And I want to kind of add this to what you said as well. Before I do, let me read this $5 super chat. So good to have the $5 super chat from Sherelle. She says, Black men refuse to be compared to other races of men, but compare Black women to other races on the daily. Just more cognitive dissonance. Once again, more cognitive dissonance. Black women be but you see the other races though, right? But you don't want to be compared. Cognitive dissonance. There was another $5 super chat. I'm sorry I missed it. To follow up with what Jedi Mike said, I think it's also important to recognize that you'll get more pushback from Black men and by Black men from me, from telling Black men that they need to strive to do better. You'll get more support from Black men by and large for telling men like myself that it's okay to be on average. It's okay to make $40,000 a year because that's the average. There seems to be a lack of willingness to support actual progress, to actually not accept average. And here's the problem. When you're dead last in every other facet of socio-capitalistic America, being average is not in your best intentions or desires. That's not in your best interest, right? Being average when you're last doesn't work. Now, being average when you own 90% of the businesses in the country and in the world, that works for you because the infrastructure can be a lot more accommodating to your averageness. But when you don't have any businesses, private schooling systems, when you don't have any infrastructure of actual economic fortitude and sustainability that runs through your communities at a very prevalent rate, you don't have the option to sit back and be proud to be average. That doesn't work. Okay? That's not that smart. You have work to do. You need to play catch up. So Black men shouldn't be telling women to go for men who are more average and settling for men who are average, because the Black community doesn't have time to keep settling for men who are average. That's crazy. What the message should be, which obviously maybe Kevin tried to do in the past, but he never took off from it. I don't know. Which should be telling men that they need to start doing a little bit better because they're not doing that well right now. As a response and as an indirect result, like Jedi Mike said, the rest naturally follows in the natural law of progression in America. When you do better and you pull up in a BMW M series, most of the time, the quality of women that you so desire to seek and to have enthralled by your company goes up. They're a little bit more naturally submissive to you when you can pave a golden road for them to walk on. This is the natural order of things in socio-capitalistic America. But you can't have a Burger King budget and expect I don't know, whatever popular seafood or steakhouse that's in your city, wherever you guys live. Oh, by the way, guys, put your cities where you live in the chat right now. I just want to kind of see. Even if you're in a different country, I want to see what city you are in. Maybe not your city, but your state, if you feel like it's too close for comfort. Because some of y'all do have your names, so be careful. Some of these guys are insane, as you see. And so that's the natural progression of things, right? And that's why I get so much hate, and why I never understand why I get so much hate for it to begin with, because I'm literally telling the guys that all of your problems that you have with women could be cut at the head just like that from you doing better in life. It's really that simple. No, I'm not lying. I promise I'm telling the truth. Arsenal, I see you have a page up here. I am not going to do the statistics right now, the statistical argument. We're not going to do it right now, Arsenal. And Arsenal, I've had enough of you, to be honest. I already have your hatred and your points made on the panel. So maybe next time. Maybe next time. We got Boston in the house, Cleveland, California, North Carolina, Florida, Dallas, Fort Worth. I'm close to you, Miguel. I'm close to you. Georgia, another Dallas, Cali in the house, New York, Harlem. Man, Harlem, man, that's some culture right there. That's some history. UK, shout out to the UK, man. Florida again. Hey, Kiana, good to see you in here. New York, Lexington, Kentucky, good old Texas, North Carolina, DC, Cleveland. Oh, we're all over, y'all. DC, Ruth Chris, that's definitely one we got down here. Kansas, Papa Dough, that's definitely one we got down here. Papa Do's is delicious. I don't even like seafood. Everything I've ever eaten at Papa Do's, man, that's what I aspire to be in life, yo. When I get to the point to where I can eat Papa Do's every day, that's living right there. That's living. Those dishes are ridiculous. And some people eat like that every day. That's what I'm trying to be. I want to eat at Papa Do's every day. Man, you need to get your goals and your dreams and your aspirations up, man. You live one time in life and you're arguing about BS. Get your goals up, man. Dallas in the house. You live one time and y'all arguing about being okay at being average. You're going to be dead and gone and who knows when? 10, 5? It could be a year from now. You're going to be dead and gone. And you arguing about being, it's okay to be dusty. Lisa Ray says Cleveland, home of the biggest dusties. ATL, Georgia. Let's move on. Is that Missouri? I think that's Mississippi. Mississippi. I forget my acronyms or my abbreviations. Chicago, Caribbean. Wow. Coming to Dallas in June. We'll see you soon. All right, let's move on. I believe I had a couple more things to say. Here. See Houston in the house. Bi-coastal, Texas right now. Attleboro. Y'all are all over. Incredible. All right. I had a couple more things to say. Let me see. Oh, I didn't have anything else to say. We're going to go back to our panel members here. Loren, you haven't gone in a while. Loren, the floor is yours. Go ahead, Loren.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to the last thing that you said, because a lot of this is, it just seems like a lot of these Black men seem really bothered that Black women aren't settling for average. And that's this obsession with getting us to lower our standards. That was the argument that I heard a lot today on these panels, is that he just wants Black women to be more realistic. But to me, that means you want Black women to accept less and to continue to accept this persistent state of below averageness, okay? And the kind of below average Black men that you have to tend to settle for. And instead of telling Black women to lower their standards, why don't you tell Black men to rise to the occasion? I say almost all the time, like Black men should be flocking to the fields that there are no Black men in. There's a lot of fields that don't have Black men. There's not a lot of Black engineers. There's not a lot of Black doctors. There's not a lot of Black men in my field of sports. Like, there's not a lot of Black men there, and you guys could be flocking there. So instead of telling Black women to, like, no one cares about your money, well, we got to get money one way or another, right? I'm not trying to be broke with you. You know, like when Black women get money and they go to school, it's simply to change their own life. Okay, I don't want to live in the hood. I don't want to be in poverty. I don't want to be in welfare. I don't want to be in the projects. I don't want to do that. So like my money is to better my own self. And, you know, Black men, you have no reason not to be doing a lot more. And all of this, you guys need to lower your standards. No, raise your standards. This is like stupid. I don't know. This has me like kind of stressed out for some reason.
Yeah, no, and I understand, Lorraine, and like I said, you know, if it comes down to that, a lot of the time I just take a break. Like I said before in the last stream, make another YouTube channel or YouTube account, Gmail account, and then just start watching like the other videos on there and make like a whole nother account, because they'll start recommending other videos, and take your mind off of this for a while. Because yes, this is, and it can be at times, and it can feel at times like you're just ramming your head into a concrete wall, just waiting for the breakthrough to happen. It'll happen eventually, but in the process, you're going to damage yourself pretty badly. And so that's what it kind of seems like in a lot of these live streams. You know, and I've said before, we'll save a couple, most we won't say, but the news we need to put out, the word we need to put out is still the same and still important nonetheless, because other races are going to look at this message. Other people are going to look at this message. Other countries are looking at this message, and they're going to see the truth in it, and out of that, they're going to see and really give Black women a much better chance to work themselves out of the disparaged situations that they're in right now. And so that's what I do, why I do what I do. We will save a few, most we won't. But the few that we do save as well, it's a start. It's a start, and eventually over generations, hopefully it can become enough of a change. Hopefully the snowball can start rolling down the hill at a pace enough to where it gets to a size that it can't be contained. So this is the start. It's the hardest to start these kind of movements, but I hear what you're saying, Loren. Absolutely hear what you're saying. I really did like a lot of what Noir was saying. Noir, are you a content creator yourself, or do you just kind of watch in the spaces?
And I'm just trying to get a bigger, broader understanding of things before I go down the content creation route, because first of all, I want to be on my face when I do it. Second, I need to make sure that everything is in line, because obviously the moment you put everything out there, I have to be in a certain kind of position where it doesn't matter if they start chopping up the videos and saying all sorts of crazy things, because I've been in a Manosphere before, and like you said earlier, there's a lot of contradictions, right? So if the girl becomes more feminine, she becomes more submissive, as they say, and she then finds someone who isn't, let's say, at the peak of the monetary value, they complain and say, well, no, don't do that. Go find the high value man. But then when she does that, they say, well, you see, she's not willing to stick it with you and grind. And this makes no logical sense, because it doesn't seem like there's a clear message. Unfortunately, it feels like too many guys in the Manosphere are actually lacking father figures, which again is part of the problem. And they idolize someone who tells them something that makes them feel somewhat worthy, right? Let's talk about KS. KS, obviously you can see the manipulations in his videos, right? When he has well-grown, well-grounded women, he actually shuts them down very quickly and doesn't allow that to continue. Then he creates some dissent as well to create, and of course, as a content creator, he can control the flow of conversation. So of course, a lot of these are actually manipulated content creation for entertainment. And the issue with a lot of these guys is they're basically rooting on him because they can say, hey, get him, get him, get him, get him. This is a childish mentality. Like I said, starting a business is not that easy, but the issue here is that unfortunately, Black men don't want to do things that are hard. Every single time I've had discussions on this topic, all I ever hear is racism, colonialism, some other ism that is somehow preventing you from being your best. But here's the thing. I know I'm just an example, one person, but I've started businesses. I've done things, even though, like I said, I grew up from a single mother. I had a great stepfather. So actually, I really, really respect that. That man over there helps my family out a lot. And you know what? He's someone I truly see as one of the best men in my life, for example. I say, yeah, we can't just keep making excuses. At a certain level, you have to look at your life, think, okay, I'm a man, I have freedom, I can move left, right, up, down, I can create. What can I do? How can I do it? How can I then create a network and make it explode instead of excuses?
Powerful, Nor, powerful. And I want to touch on one fact that you said, Nor. You're spot on the money, man. Spot on the money. The man that you've developed into today, and you giving credit to the stepfather, you giving credit to something that the Manosphere demonizes and calls a simp and this and that. It's so telling. There's so much revelation in that, because the way that you speak and carry yourself is a direct antithesis to the type of men who were insulting me earlier today, calling me a this and calling me a this and calling me a that and cursing me out. And the very men that they insult in the same breath, the type of man that they insult in the same breath, you're a byproduct of. And we can see a world of a difference. And what even blows my mind further is that somehow they've made it in their minds okay for their sisters, daughters, mothers, cousins, future generations to be in the presence of men like them, but men like yourself who are well-spoken, who have businesses, who are trying to actually be better in the Black community and represent progress. They would rather, in their minds, demonize and claim that we are the panderers and the coons of the Black community. It's so backwards, to the tune of almost 1 million subscribers. This is disturbing. This is extremely disturbing. This is extremely disturbing. But no, I really appreciate those points. So well said. And and it's really good to have you on here. I can't wait to have you on the next one as well. At your pace, there's never any pressure, Nora. I really appreciate you and other men like yourself, like Jedi Mike, for being the men that we need in our community. There's just not enough of that. It's these lives are so important because how anybody can look at the men on this panel right now and say that we're the ones that's the problem with the Black community, how anybody can truthfully accept that and say that in their heads, I'll never understand. I'll never understand how somebody can look me in my eyes or talk to me on a panel and tell me I'm the problem with the Black community.
Sounds like some serious hamstering.
It's not just hamstering, Siamese. It's evil. It's psychotic. It's sociopathic. I can't wrap my mind around it. I literally have a hard time thinking about this sometimes. Like, how could a man hate me so much for what I stand for, which is morality, which is ethics, which is working hard, which is not making excuses, which is trying to make the Black community better? How can a man hate me for that? My own brother. How can my own skin folk hate me for that, but in the same breath give blessings to the ones that are responsible for most of the community's crime, give blessings to the ones that are responsible for most of the community's degeneracy? Whew. Cherie says it's demonic. Yeah, it's something. It's something, man. Apple Girl says Noir is right. He interrupts women when they're speaking to control the narrative. Yeah, this is something that I notice he does a lot. Great point by Noor, and a great observation by Apple Girl. When a woman comes up to his panel, he'll ask her these loaded questions like, okay, do you want to work after you're pregnant? We've talked about this on the live, right? I'll just blow through it really quickly. No woman wants to work after she's pregnant. She has a child. So he captures them there and says, they say, no, I don't want to. Okay, so you're going to need a man to make $300,000, but you don't deserve that, right? And it's just like, well, she never said $300,000. You said $300,000. She just said she didn't want to work after she was pregnant, because no woman wants to work after she's pregnant. Moreover, no man should want their woman to work after she's pregnant and had the child. No man in their right mind, at least. That's not in our best interest. At least if you love that woman. Now, if you don't love that woman, then you might not care if she has to work after she has your child, which is backwards enough in and of itself. It's another point to argue another time. I just don't know, I just don't know. Kiana says, if I called, he'd hang up on me. Yeah, he had this one time when he was given smoke. He was like, I want all the smoke from all the men today. I want all the smoke. And so I called. This was, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. Some of y'all remember the OGs on this live stream Pat and channel. I screwed that, chat and panel. I called and I was in the queue and he never added me. He talked to, I think, one black dude for about 2 minutes, and then he talked to another black dude for like 30 seconds. And he was like, oh, that's enough today. That's enough today, ladies and gentlemen. If you were waiting in the live stream, if you're a man, you're going to have to call back on the next show. I was like, bro, you were talking for 5 minutes to the men. And he hasn't talked to the men in the live stream since. He only talks to the women. That's by design. He knows that he wouldn't be able to handle an actual logical argument. He can't do mental gymnastics on that level. What he can do is control in a very small sphere, because it's the same thing every single stream. How it's not boring at this point, I don't know. The girl comes on, she might have a child, she might not. She's either high value or she's not. 98% of the time, she's not high value because she forgot how to tie her shoes in the 2nd grade. It's like, all right, guys. All right. Okay. We get it. Nobody's high value but you, Kevin, because his viewers aren't high value. We know that. His views aren't high value. They go against the very nature of women. So that means I'll let you go in 1 second. They go against the very nature of women wanting to go for the best providers. That's what women are designed to do. And that's essentially what you're telling women to do in the first place. Go ahead, Siamese Cat.
That sounds like some very classic bite model shit. Steve Hassan. If you want me to link it in the chat, I can gladly do so. I also did so in the other comments on the chat replay, but I'm going to link it again.
Okay. Now,
I will point out this. A lot of his followers, and I know one, I'm not going to dox anyone because I don't want to be disrespectful, but a lot of them will say things like, use your logic, or implying that if somebody feels like something's wrong, that they're just being emotional. The use your logic phrase might be, and I'm saying might be getting used as a thought stopping or an emotion stopping technique. I just linked
Yeah,
that below.
I think there's an interesting point, Siamese. Thank you for that point. I think that's an interesting point. Yeah, they'll somehow try and make it seem, they'll twist their words. They're really good at that, twisting their words to make it seem like what they're saying is really the most logical, argument in that case, right? It's just all manipulation. Sherelle says my man doesn't have to be rich. Damn, just decent legal money, right? We spoke about this on a live stream, on a live channel, on a live pet. I said the same thing. I said the same thing. I keep messing up the words. I don't know what's wrong with me today. We said this before, and we were joking about it, but we were kind of being serious. Women aren't expecting you to make $100,000, man. This $100,000 high value narrative came from Kevin Samuels. There was no woman walking around before this man started saying this that they wanted $100,000 earning man. And I made this point before as well. A woman, most people can't tell the difference between somebody who earns $70,000 and somebody who earns $100,000. The difference in lifestyle is negligible in that case. A $70,000 person can afford roughly the same dollar value car that a $100,000 person can, right? They're relatively in the same economic earning gap. Now, 70,000 and 150,000 is a bit different. 70,000 and 125,000 is even a little bit different. But 70, 75 and 100, this six-figure earner, this entire narrative was started by him. And women aren't going to look at a man that makes 89,000 and say, "Oh, no, it's over for us because I need somebody that makes 100." Women aren't going to say that. That's not realistic. But he pushes and pushes and pushes this $100,000 number as if all women somehow made it in their minds one day that they need a man that makes $100,000. That's not the case. He said that. No women said that. He said that. So now he runs with it. And once again, it's just this manipulation that Noor said. He runs with this narrative. And then he'll demean them on the fact that, well, since you stole that candy bar in 1972, I'd say you don't deserve a man that makes $100,000. I think you deserve a man that makes the average $30,000. And you should be happy with that. You should be happy you got that.
Historical guilt.
Historical guilt. I like that, Siamese. $30,000 in a bad salary for a young strapping black man. Now, if you don't mind me, I'll get back to my boots. My $20,000 Tom Fords. What? Where are we going with this conversation? Where are we going with this conversation, Kevin? Oh, by the way, you need to go get therapy too. You need to get therapy because you need a therapist. He doesn't say what type of therapist. But you need a therapist. You need to go talk to somebody because what I'm sensing right now is this delusion. Now the people in the chat that are calling you a nappy-headed whatever in the chat, the people in the chat, they're all right. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about the chat. Don't look at the chat. How many times have you heard him say that in a live stream? Don't look at the chat now. Focus on me. Focus on me and what I'm saying to you because I'm going to save your life. I'm going to get you married. I already got 4 people married out of my 1 million subscribers. I'm going to get you married, though. You just do what I say. Worship the ground that man walks on. If he cheats on you, it's okay because you can't do no better anyways. Listen to him, cook for him, clean for him, and I guarantee you're going to live the best life ever. And go get the therapy while you're at it. And make sure, whatever you do, make sure that you don't get a PhD and that you definitely don't get a master's because that's going to make you masculine.
Excuse him.
Excuse him, Siamese. Excuse him. We're going to go back to a couple of our other guests. Toya, you haven't spoken in a while, Toya. I'll let you have the floor. Stampitis, you can go ahead and go after Toya. And then we're going to kind of wrap this up a little bit short of a stream, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a short one, but we'll be back in a couple of days. I'm going to be making more streams consistently. Don't worry. I'm here to stay. Very long stream coming next stream. Toya, the floor is yours.
Okay, my first statement I want to say is the very same men that follow Kevin Samuels will sit there and bash a whole gay man. I'm telling you, they will gash a whole gay man. And then
cognitive dissonance.
And then number 2, I love black men. Okay, my father's a black man. My husband's a black man. I'm raising 4 black soon-to-be men. Okay, I love seeing when men succeed getting their degrees and stuff like that. I love seeing that, and when they give back to their community. Okay, I love seeing that. I don't like seeing our men going to jail because they want to be, out there on the street trying to rep for the hood. Do you know how stupid you look? Do you know how stupid that you actually look? You need to be focusing on how you need to be rebuilding your community, other than trying to be so-called high value. Your value is in your actual community. And when this shit is dilapidated, you lose value. Pay attention to that. Because your actual enemy is out there. It ain't us. And I swear, if my son end up like anything like these daggone Kevin Samuel fouls, I'll beat their asses my damn self. Even though they got a daddy, I'll beat their asses my damn self, because that's not how I raised them.
Absolutely.
Your
Absolutely.
value is
Thank you
in
so
your
much.
community.
That's it. That's it. We can only, as a people, rise as high as our community is. And their points, you're so right about that, Toya. The points are validated. And Toya, I'm going to go ahead and take you down. I appreciate you joining.
Okay.
We're going to wrap this up in a little bit, but thank you so much, Toya. Their points are, thank you, Toya. Their points are contradicted because they tell women, once again, that they need to help raise the community. Kevin Samuels told a woman in the scandalous video where a man was supposedly laying in his bed, what are you going to do to help enrich the Black community? As if it's the Black women who are locked up at record highs, as if it's the Black women who aren't out educating, as if the Black women haven't already started doing exactly what he wants them to do to begin with. Kiana Fultz with the $5 super chat. Thanks so much for the super chat and the donators. Said they're too focused on women and sex. You're right about that. They pride themselves on their lay count. How many can I get? I'm a boss. Future's a boss. $20 super chat from SHT Guard. The vast majority of women just want a man who can see them, truly see them, and make them feel safe and respected. You never felt love and submission of a woman like the kind you get when you do that. Let me tell you something. I was on top of my life, doing well for myself. Nice car, nice this, nice that. I didn't have a single problem with women. And it is beautiful to be able to have a woman by your side to accompany you through various aspects of life. It's fun, man. It's awesome. It really is. I love driving down my car, making fun of the girl beside me. We can go out to get something to eat, go into a drive-in movie theater, have fun, do whatever we want to. That's the way life's designed to be lived. We're designed to be compatible with the opposite. If you decide to, the same sex, we're designed to be social creatures. That's what we're designed to be. There's this push to be alone, to be separate, to be a man going his own way, a MGTOW, red pill, that you don't need women, to just pay and pump and dump women for their sex and for their bodies. There's a push to do that. But that's not how we're designed. That's not how we got to the point in civilization that we are now. That's going against evolution. Perfect Now says, why can't these ninjas just enjoy life? I have no idea. We had a 20-year-old kid on here that's pretty much having an identity crisis at 20 years old. I was like, dude, when I was 20, I was having a good time. I was drinking. I was in college. I was making money. Life was good. 20 years old, I'd do anything to go back to 20. We have 20-year-old kids now that are like on the brink of madness because they listen and they follow men who are 30 years their superior, telling them that their life is over because they're men. Vincent Henley said, you sound like you get cheated on, bro. I'm sure I probably have gotten cheated on, Vincent, in the past. I don't know. Maybe I have. Maybe I haven't. I don't think I've been cheated on. Maybe I have been cheated on. I'm sure I have. But even if I was cheated on, Vincent, my life is still going to go on. I don't regret anything. I don't hold any grudges in my heart. Who hurt you, Vincent? You're going to get cheated on, man. That's life. Grow a pair of balls, build a bridge, cry, and get the hell over it, Vincent. You're going to be all right, man. People get cheated on. Go live your life. Jesus Christ.
Sounds like he's trying to use historical guilt or possible historical guilt against you.
Well, there you go, Siamese. There you go. Sound like you got cheated on, bro. I feel bad for you, bro. You got cheated on. Bro, I'm not hurting from that, bro. Niggas are sad. Even if I did get cheated on, what does that have to do with your life, Vincent? You grown-ass man. I think you got cheated on, bro, to be honest with you, bro. So you might need to What do I need to do now, Vincent? What do I need to do now? Help me out, Vincent. I need your advice. I'm not sure how to move on with my life. I've been in my apartment for 365 straight days. I haven't gone anywhere. I've been crying 24/7. Vincent, what should I do, Vincent? I'd love to hear what Vincent thinks I should do. Oh, I'm hurt.
You
Vincent,
go,
you are
John.
insane.
Tease him.
Vincent, you
Tease
are
'em.
insane. Thank you, Simon. Thank you. Vincent, I am not hurt, man. How are you going to tell me how I feel? What? I don't understand. I'm doing great, Vincent. My life is on the up and up, man. All right. I'm not hurt at all, Vincent. If you think I'm hurt, by all means, you can think however you'd like. I take no offense to it, and that's your right. So, by all means, Alexander. Yes, I have one more. Actually, Alexander, we're gonna wrap up for today, Alexander. But check back in next time, Alexander. Well, F it, Alexander. Come on up. Alexander's always speaking. There's the link, Alexander. Join really quickly. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up with the last words. Siamese Cat, I want to go ahead and give you your last words really quickly, and we'll start clearing the panel out. Siamese Cat, go ahead. Siamese took a step back. Go ahead, Siamese. You're muted.
If you want to know how these leaders have gotten their power, look up Steve Hassan's bite model. It also applies to the multi-level MLM markets.
Okay.
It applies to other cults, but it may use certain phrases like use your logic or detach from your emotions as thought or emotion stopping techniques to try to talk you out of your instinct where your gut might be saying, hey, something's wrong here, or hey, this is kind of backwards. What are you really trying to do? So definitely look up the bite model, and it may make a lot of sense.
I'm glad you said that, Siamese, because I've been listening and watching a lot of these MLMs and pyramid scheme type businesses being exposed, and they're really interesting. There's this one called
Not
I Am
the Good
Academy.
Girl is a great channel for that.
Okay, I'll check them out. There's one called Marco. Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you, Siamese Cat. I appreciate you being here. We'll see you next time.
See you soon, and thank you so much for having me help you out.
Well, thank you for helping me. I appreciate your time, Siamese. Yeah. That was Siamese Cat. Always good to see you in here. Moonlight with the $5 super chat says Vincent needs y'all hurts. Okay, as I put in where y'all are savage. Yeah, men like Vincent have legitimate mental issues. You talk about therapy. He needs to be in therapy. Alexander Brennan, good to see you on the panel. Alexander, I'm going to have you go last in 1 second. I just want to get other people's words in and out really quickly. Stampitis, I'll have you go really quickly. Stampitis, your last words. Always good to see you on the stream, Stampitis. I hope everything's doing well and going well for you and the family. I see you in the back, Noble. We're gonna take you down for now, man. We'll be back next couple of days. You can join. But Stampitis, thank you for being here again, man. I appreciate you.
The question I was originally going to ask is too long, seeing how we're going for the wrap up.
Go ahead, Stamp. You waited for a long time, man. Go ahead.
Well, I kind of did ask. It was to Jedi Mike when he was talking about like black men really don't stand for anything, and a little bit to you when you was like recent movements. We're bringing up the '60s. We need to fast forward to 2021. Black Lives Matter is a recent movement, and in the news, the founder, the black woman. I think she ran off with the money and spent it on real estate. And I kind of wanted to hear anybody's take on it, but particularly Jedi Mike, like, what do you make of that? Because that was a movement that black men and women were in, but the black woman founder ran off with the money and spent it on real estate. What's your take on that?
Yeah, if I respond, I understand what you were saying with that, and
hold on, Jedi. Stampitis. What does this have to do with anything that we've talked about on the stream, man?
It has to do with like movements. You were talking about movements and black people not sticking together and stuff like that.
No, Stampitis. No. Even if she did run away and walk off with the money, I would say that there's probably still an advantageous side to Black Lives Matter for black people and for black men. There's a lot of community awareness that there was unjust arrest of black men. So if she ran off with the money, I personally don't care. I don't care at all. I think that there was still a benefit and a positive to that. This is just that's kind of a weird statement to make. So if one black woman ran off with the money, what are we going to do about it at this point? Are we going to totally irrelevant? Are we going to totally just disregard everything I said because the leader of the Black Lives Matter movement ran off with the money?
I mean, no. I was just curious about it.
Stampitis, I'm gonna let them flame you next time, Stamp. I stood for you tonight. I tried to help you, but you are swinging very far left field now. Thanks for trying though, Stampitis. Good to see you in the building. And be prepared for the chat that's getting ready to come for you right now. What? That's
Can I
just
respond to that?
yeah. Go ahead, Jedi.
Yeah, no, my point is saying, like, I understand where he's coming from. Like, me and my father had the conversations about this, but my thing is about this is that as much as, like, if I can like complain about where the movement is making or taking their money is to, I know it's run by a Black woman, but my thing is this: I'd rather focus on terms on the men's side, saying that for me, I'm not gonna wait on movement to tell me what I have to do to defend my own people. I'd just rather say, okay, well, if you're going to claim where money is, then why don't we just build our own money as men, as collectively, and saying, okay, like now we have the resources to bail the dude that got in jail out, for a crime he didn't commit, and so we don't have to wait for the movement to come in and do it. If we are criticizing for the actions that they're basing it on, that's my point. Now, I mean, I don't know what kind of like. If you're asking about terms of like what men,
Yeah,
I'm just trying to understand what the point about.
Yeah.
Answering his question, but I'm just saying if we're just going to complain about the movement, I just focus on more of have something that as men we can build to way that we don't have to complain what other groups are doing that we're not doing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the relevant.
Like,
oh no, you did, Jedi. Of course, man. Of course. The relevancy of asking that question would have been it's so irrelevant to the topic at hand. That's like me asking, well, what about the time that this NASCAR pit driver forgot to put gas in Jeff Gordon's car in the Indianapolis 500? I think he had a cousin that was a Black woman at the time. It's like what? And to my point, even if they took all the money and ran, Black Lives Matter still had a benefit or a positive effect to Black men. I don't care what they did with the money. What do you want them to do with the money? You want them to give all the money to all the Black men in the world? Where do you want this money to go to? Right? I don't understand. Of course, you want the Black woman to build the entire Black community, right? Just like Kevin Samuel said earlier in the live stream. You want the Black woman to start building the systems, right? They don't want to see a sister win. Oh no, you better not make no money. You better not start a movement and make money and profit off of it. You better not. Alexander Brandon, I'll let you go, Alexander, and then after Alexander, we'll let you go, Angie. Then we'll come back around to you, Loren, and we'll do closing statements as well. Alexander, go ahead.
Well, first off, what's up, everybody?
What's up, Alexander? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this. And now I ain't going lie to y'all. I was watching Eddie Adim, and I had to catch up on some of the latest video he put out. And dude, Kevin Samuels' message is starting to spread to other communities also. I did not know that.
Absolutely. Alexander, you're absolutely right about that, man. And recently we told the panel, and we had a live stream on him being on this No Jumper podcast, which is primarily white teenagers, right? He's trying to go as mainstream as he can through different powerful YouTube outlets to try and spread that message, right? Yeah, he wants the world to know just how bad the more enlightened, the higher educated Black women are in the Black community. He wants them to be somehow the bane of the world for whatever reason. The new face of white supremacy, Alexander Brandon. I'm glad you said that. Thank you so much. Angie, welcome to the panel, Angie. I know you wanted to get in really quickly. Go ahead. The floor is yours, and we'll wrap up.
Hey, THT and
Hi.
chat. Thank you for having me on. I know it's late and I know you've been on for a while, but I'd like to speak from the perspective of, I guess, what I would call an older woman. I'm not a millennial, I'm a Gen Xer, I'm 48. And just a couple of things I want to say about social media and cult like personalities like KS and many others in the manosphere. Extremism, number one, is a huge problem. I really don't feel like this generation, I guess, as a collective, not all, I don't think you all, or many of them, know how to think critically. Saying all Black women do this, all Black men do that. I mean, I have grown kids. I mean, my oldest child is going to be 19 in a couple of months and is going into the service next month. And I have another son who's turning 18 in October, who is also going into the Marine Corps, and a daughter that's 16, who is a rising senior. And it scares me to think of their relationship prospects based off of the rhetoric that's being spewed out here on social media. It's very scary for me as a
Absolutely.
parent, and even thinking about just my prospects of even becoming a grandparent, because I mean my days of having children are over, but I want to be a grandparent. I know that might seem a bit selfish to some, but who doesn't want to have kids? Like, whoever has kids, I guess at some point wants to be a grandparent. So the things that I'm seeing now between Black men and Black women, I'm sorry, it's becoming what I like to call neo minstrelsy. It's just a minstrel show all over again. I lived enough decades for long and have seen so many things about the same talking points and the same complaints, but it is magnified exponentially because of social media. So my question is what solutions do you think can arise? Because I heard a comment that you made earlier regarding future generations and things changing, things getting better. You're quite optimistic, young man. And I will say that things haven't changed. In fact, they've gotten worse again because of social media and a collective messiah complex that we have in this community, and not thinking for self and not taking people at face value in terms of, using your own experience with each individual to make a determination about that individual and not the collective of people. So that's the problem that I'm having. And
Right.
I do see that there's problems in the Black community, there's problems with Black men, but I make sure that I condition and raise my sons to be better men than what my father was and then what their father was, because I was married to their father.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'd like
yeah.
to know from your
I'll,
perspective as a young
yeah, I'll
man what
answer.
you
I'll
think.
answer for you really quickly. Yeah, that's a good question. Good question. It sounds like you're new to the channel, so I'd advise you to watch my previous live streams. The purpose of my channel specifically is to be the opposite side, the antithesis of what the Manosphere and men like Kevin Samuels and Coach Greg Adams and all the others represent. It's to be the face of reality of the true nature of the Black community and the true nature of the level of despair, the level of destruction, and the level of torment that Black children who grow up in the Black community at the hands of the failures of Black men have to experience on a day-to-day basis. So that's the purpose of my channel, and I'm not optimistic about it changing. Moreover, I think that if there was going to be change, it's not going to be in our lifetime, the type of change that we need to see happen within the generations, if I'm being completely honest. But what I say and why I say it and why I make these streams is because I do want to at least be a part of the contribution to waking up a few enlightened people who see this message and say, you know what? I like that message. And I want you to know I've gotten emails. I got 2 emails recently from women who said that they were actually a part of the Manosphere, who are part of Kevin Samuels' channel. And they said eventually it just didn't sit right with them. And they found my channel and they thanked me in their emails. I got 2 emails today from women that are saying this. So when more people start sharing the pages and sharing messages like this and sharing the true reality of the desolation of the Black community, more people will start to see and at least start to have conversations amongst themselves and their peer groups and discussing the new ideas of what it is to actually progress and what actual economic sustainability progression, fortitude, what actual moral progression looks like, and not what they've been seeing to the tune of almost 1 million subscribers with Kevin Samuels. That's when we're going to start to see a little bit of a change begin. Definitely not to see the change in that of itself, but we'll see the change start to begin once these numbers start to grow. Now, you're watching during the stream, and the stream has 200 some odd people watching. There are people on this channel who are watching me when I had 2 people watching, when I had 3 people watching. And so the numbers that I'm at now is indicative of the growth of the words that I've been saying on this channel. Eventually, there's going to be 2,000 people watching me. And then eventually, one day, there's going to be 20,000 people watching me. It's just a matter of time. I believe that firmly with all of my heart. When we do start to reach those numbers, then you can look back and say, okay, you know what? I see more of the effect that The Honest Truth was talking about now, because the numbers are growing, the word is growing, and it's getting out there. And we'll continue to do that until we start to reach a couple of different mainstream outlets and this and that. And then we have more of a narrative to fight against their demonic narrative that they've been preaching. And that's when you'll start to see potential hope and future for your generations. So $5 super chat from Self Love Heals. She says, please watch the movie Chaos Walking 2021. It has a lot of similarities to the current gender war. One of the characters reminds me of KS. I'll definitely watch that. I'll definitely watch it. I'm going to go ahead and take you down, Angie. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you on the next one. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Alexander, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you on the next one as well. I want to give Jedi Mike and then Loren the last words here. Jedi Mike, go ahead with your last words. We're going to wrap the stream on up.
Yeah, well, I should thank you for having me once again. Nice talking to you, Loren, and everyone on the channel and everything like that. But yeah, this is one thing I just kind of been like, when I caught up and listening to, is just like the fact of that we don't have this pack mentality as men, but I think it's also that we have as men, we don't have a fear of failure, not knowing that failure is what really forges men in terms of what failure, in terms of having the responsibility to to get up again and try again. That was what forges men. Failure was just complaining, that basically create basically whining boys. And one thing I feel that as like a young age, that's what we're lacking in, is that we don't know how to control our emotions, but also more importantly, control our mindset. And that talking about saying that I cannot just stay complacent. And even the workplace, we're talking about this, even myself and too, we knew as just in our culture that we have this this stereotype of being the complacent Negro, where I don't want to regardless of what my other Black people, co-workers doing, I don't want to make myself look bad. So anything, if they're not getting mistreated, if they're getting mistreated, I'm doing all right, then I'm good. To me, I can't accept that, So my thing is that, okay, well, if you're going to complain about that, then we have to create our own things. But I think the foundation of that is really with the men. It's like, don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid to never try again. But a lot of us, we're not even trying at all. So I'm saying that we're not even trying at all. Don't even complain about why you're in the situation that you're in. And that's why I like this. One of the things that the books I'm reading, that one of the things I actually forged, one of the videos I'm working on right now, I'm just planning separate ones before I release it next week. But one of this is called the 360 Leader. It's by and one thing it goes into deconstructs about different types of leadership, and also what it comes with the trials and tribulations of being a leader, because it's not an easy path. That's why there's not the scarcity of it. That's why they're extremely valuable. So I just kind of encourage us as the men is that if you actually have this terms of perspective, because perspective what controls your reality. That's what in terms of what projects everything. Yes, everything comes at you. Yes, you might be mistreated. And yes, and at the end of the day, regardless of which side you're on, your ass is still black. But with that, it comes with that saying, I have a responsibility, that I cannot just stay here watching my people being tarnished by that. And so when it goes with the movements about where you complain about like why Black Lives Matter or anything like that, I'm saying I rather focus on me trying to build a foundation where I can take care of my people and don't have to rely on a movement, regardless whether you agree on the message or not, or what they're executing with donations or anything like that. To me, I'm just not gonna waste my time thinking about that. They're not controlling my reality. I know that have execution, that's where it goes with. It starts with me and it ends with me. But anyway, I hope you guys have a good time and stuff like that. But I'll see you guys next time. All right.
Jedi
Peace.
Mike, always good to have you in here, boss man. Jedi Mike,
Bye,
with the
Jedi.
fire, as always. He said bye. He's in the back right now. He said bye. Well, I don't know. He's waving.
All right.
All right, Jedi. My bad, Jedi. I didn't mean to cut you off again, bro. It's all right.
Okay.
All right, bro. Jedi Mike, ladies and gentlemen. Loren, I was noticing what the chat is noticing. I almost see Native American in you, Loren. It's very interesting. Your facial, your chisels, Loren.
Yeah, I was wondering about that myself because I get it all the time. Like, oh, are you from the islands? Are you African? Are you Native American? I don't know. I never got
Yeah.
a genealogy test and stuff. All
Mm,
I know is that I'm North Philadelphia, born and raised, and the
there you go.
playground's where I spend most of my days.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Yeah, we all got stuff in us, man. At this point, we
Hmm.
don't know. Nobody knows what they are. We've been so everywhere, but I think that'd be really cool to kind of check that genealogy test or the
Yeah,
ancestor
I was
test.
thinking
That'd
about
be
taking
cool.
one.
If you do, yeah, let me know. I like to kind of see what pops up, and I want to do for one for myself. I also heard that when people take them, they're starting to find family members that they didn't actually know they had because they matched with some DNA halfway across America because they collect your DNA and then compare it. And if a ping pops up in the registry, they'd be like, "Oh, you have a cousin or a sister," and
Wow.
some people are finding family members. Trippy. Well, we'll talk about that. Okeana says she's Choctaw. Nice, Choctaw. That is pretty cool right there. Kayla said I did my DNA and it basically said everything. Well, that's cool. That's cool. We are the world. Oh, so they say I'm echoing. I'm sorry, I'm echoing. Well, go ahead, Lorraine, with your last words. I'm echoing.
Oh my god. I don't know. I'm definitely a little exhausted tonight. I think I'm gonna take probably a long vacation from this because it's just very frustrating. People think that we care what he does behind closed doors. We don't care. What's being exposed is the hypocrisy and the fraudulent activity and the fact that this is a sleazeball masquerading as a savior of the Black community. And that's what I'm not with, okay? You're no savior. You can't even live in your own truth. You can't even stand in your own truth, okay? So before you start telling someone else to go to therapy, maybe you need to go to therapy and figure out why you're not brave enough to walk in your own $20,000 boots. So please. I think I'm I had so much to say, but I have no more train of thought. So I'm just gonna end it here before I start rambling.
It's always good to have you, Loren. You take as much time as you need. If you want to just watch and comment, you don't have to hop on, Loren. You're always good no matter what because you are the sponsor of this channel, http://uniqueboutiquecandles.com. Make sure you check it out. Trust me, it's worth your time. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is the honest truth. Thank you so much. And we're gonna see you next time, Loren. Until then, I wish you best of luck, and we'll stay in contact. Okay.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye, Loren. Bye. We'll see Loren soon, everybody. We'll see Loren soon. And what Loren should do, is going to do, is something that we all should do. Taking that detox is very necessary sometimes. You got to kind of take some time off to really compose and recompose yourself and kind of get your mental and emotional state back together. At the end of the day, live your life. And what we talk about here is important. And I'm glad that all of you are here. But don't get stressed over this. Don't get stressed over these idiotic men, over these evil men that are trying to tell you what they're saying is the truth. Don't get stressed over their stupid rhetoric or anything like that. Just know that they are stupid, and eventually one day they'll be held accountable for the stupidity that they keep putting into the community. That day is coming, and you are an original member of us when we were doing it before the masses started to reach our message. $5 super chat says from Moonlit Wit says the channel is helping Black men save face. There is strength and sanity here. I hope it changes the mentality of the fatherless Kevin Samuels followers. I hope it does as well. I hope it does as well. Some will hear, a lot won't, but for those who do hear, this message is worth it in bounds. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an Honest Truth Seekers Live production. I really want to thank you all for being here tonight, for all the contributors, the super chatters, the cash appers, and with the $15. Thank you so much once again for the cash app, for everybody who has looked at the wish list, and for Tony specifically, who has actually bought something, this Rode Pod mic. We're stepping up in quality here in a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. If you'd like to support the channel, the links will be in the chat box and the description box after we post this video. Make sure you check out the past live streams. They're very entertaining. We'll be gone for a couple of days, but we'll be back in a couple of days. Follow us on Discord. We're going to keep up this conversation as soon as we go offline. You all mean the world to me. And I can't wait to eventually get to one point at the channel where we can have a conference or like an actual meet and greet in every city, or maybe a tour type thing. We actually start having like small arenas or renting out these small little clubs or whatnot, and having these types of discussions where we can get together, have people come onto the stage, live stream it like a concert type event, but it's like a table instead, and people have microphones. They tell their own personal stories. We can even have the Kevin Samuels minions come in. They'll pay additional, coverage fees, but come in and try and tell there, and we can boo them off stage, do whatever it might be. I have a lot of different ideas for when we start growing this channel to a really big rate. I'm not going to always stay on YouTube. I want to put this as actual entertainment that we can really enjoy on our day-to-day activities and lives in the various cities that we're all in. That's why I asked actually what city y'all are in and where you live, because I want to see exactly what we're looking at right now. So I'm planning for a lot of stuff in the future. If you want to be a part of that, once again, you can contribute and donate. I hope that you stay safe, ladies and gentlemen. Huge shout out to all of our day ones that are still in the building. Huge shout out to everybody that watches from the beginning of the stream to the end of the stream, who comments before we even go live on the streams. Shout out to y'all. You're the reason why we're in the analytics now. And yeah. I'm reading y'all's comments. Yeah, now that we can boo them off stage. Marita says, excellent live and content. Thank you so much. Laura Guerrero says, that'd be awesome. Definitely. IK, good night. Yes, go to sleep, IK. I'm sorry. Someone said, why are you doing the stream so late? I'll try and start doing the streams a little earlier if I can, ladies and gentlemen. I definitely will. I'm looking forward to that. Organic Black says, on shoot one day when I'm richer, I'll get you some of the other stuff on there. Organic Black, you don't have to do anything past what you've done. You've done so much. Thank you so much. One day when I'm richer, I'll try and give y'all stuff as well, man. Try and do my best. Gabrielle says, bye, everyone. Have a great night. He said, what's the Discord link? The Discord link is in the link I just posted in that link tree. Click that link tree link, and it'll give you the Discord link. If that link's not working, then wait until I end this live, and then I'll post the link tree link again and make sure that it works, and then you can find that Discord on there, okay? Kayla says, night, don't let the glitches bite. Alexander says, good night, everyone. Lauren says, thank you, guys. I really think I need to break the communities also, so don't stop growing. We won't, Lauren. We'll be here waiting for you when you get back. Or if you want to just lurk and not say anything, we're here nonetheless. Nia says she did an ancestry test years ago. Okay. Jojo1, good night. She says good night to everybody. Ice Cream Cake says yes. Grown black man saying protect another black man at all costs. Never heard that saying that about the children. Ooh. Lord have mercy. Y'all are on fire with the comments. I see all the comments and I try and get to them. Laura says, uh-oh, the link tree isn't working. Okay, link tree is not working. Let's see. I might have posted the link wrong. Nope, you're right. It is not working. Hold on. All right, it's because I posted the link wrong. Here's the actual link tree to get to the Discord. Thank you so much, Laura. That is the new link. I added an extra T to the link tree. Sorry about that, y'all. That's the link to join to the Discord. Thank you so much. Link doesn't work. We got it corrected. Link just has a typo. Yep. Alf, you figured it out. That's my hurriedness, my unpreparedness coming through. Hello, hey, says enjoy chatting with y'all. Good night. Bye. All right, y'all. We'll see you on the Discord. We'll continue the conversation there. Give me a while, guys. I gotta eat. I gotta cook like some chicken and salad. A little famished. And I'll be on the Discord in a little bit. We have fun on the Discord. Once again, that's the link tree. Y'all be safe, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you on the next one. Give me a couple days. We'll be back with a long stream. I've already started the next live stream. It's going to be a long one. It could possibly be a 5-hour long stream. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. This is what happens when it gets late. When I get a little tired, I start becoming dyslexic. It should be a 5-hour long live stream, almost rivaling our 6.5-hour one. All right. Anywho, I do really love you all. Latoya says after party in the Discord. So 21. What? All right, y'all. After I end this, you can still chat in the live chat. Just make sure that you click cancel when it says the next video is going to play, and you can chat in the live chat for a while. She said the Discord link doesn't work. All right, let's try and figure this out. Let me try and find the Discord link, y'all. Man, my dust is trying to evolve in front of us right now. My dust is trying to evolve in front of us. I must stop it. Let's get the Discord link. I'm glad I stuck around. I would have never known. Now, I don't know how to work Discord, so I'm trying to find the dang link myself. Block pending all. The honest truth offline. Okay, there we go. How the hell? Oh, invite people. Invite people. All right, this link expires in 7 days. Here you go. Here's the new Discord link. Please let me know if this Discord link works. Discord is so freaking hard. This is how I know I'm getting old. This is so hard for me for some reason. There's a way to make it a permanent link also. Yeah, I thought I did already. I thought I did. There you go, Mikkel. There's the Discord. Kiana, there's the Discord. My bad. It's the dust. Y'all let me know what happens when you click that, please. I clicked it and I think it took you to it. Discord app launched. Okay. Let me know. Should be okay. Later. Basic says the link does work. Okay. I'm about to just take down the Discord, man. All right, it's working. That worked. All right, y'all. Awesome. All right, y'all. Good night. We'll see you on the Discord once again. Final good night this time. I love you.